Hello, and Happy New Year to all of our friends, past, present, and future. Welcome to Legends Die Live, a D&D stream brought to you by a group of friends who are in a different place with a different layout that hopefully you guys think is better. We think it's better. We're more comfortable in this room. Mm-hmm. We are a Dungeons & Dragons stream. We play 5th edition. Stylistically, we stay pretty close to the rules, but we do bend, break, and homebrew them as well. If that type of thing interests you, I recommend you check out our homebrew document in the doobly-doo down below, as indicated by my players.
So helpful.
Yep.
Yep. That's
Big thank you to Sirenscape for providing us with the music for our game, and to our 2 artists who provided us with the logos, as well as the headshots that you can see in our new stat block up in the top right-hand corner. Our bard Felix will be in the chat, so if you're there, say hi to him. He's very charismatic, and he loves to talk. So, say hi to Chris.
Just don't make him mad or he'll cast vicious mockery.
I think it's banishment.
I cast Banhammer.
And finally, tonight we're going to be implementing a new mechanic called the Legendary Die.
Yes.
So, which is basically going to entail someone from the audience giving one of our characters an inspiration that they can use in the second half of the show. So, stick around. At halftime, we'll have you vote, and then one of our players will get the die, and it will break my game, and we'll go from there.
It's a D20 Bardic Inspiration equivalent, y'all.
I think with that, we're ready to start streaming.
Because I'm going to get it. So this is the prelude to victory.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
Happy New Year.
Hey, he got it.
Say it in
That's the one I
halfling.
know.
What's Happy New Year in halfling?
Happy New Year.
Oh, man.
All right. So, our 5 characters have traveled to the elven city of Vintar for different reasons. Some are here to further their career. Some are here because of enigmatic premonitions. Some are here for no better reason than to follow their friends. And yet, they're all here to find answers. The city of Vintar is built into a gigantic tree. A tree so large that from a distance, its topmost branches are mistaken for the tops of mountains. Vintar is said to be a city born from a seed, carried over from another plane of existence, the Feywild. A few weeks ago, our character stood at the base of this tree, looking upward at its majesty. There are rope ladders from branch to branch. whereas most cities occupy vast swaths of land horizontally. This one occupies space vertically. Silvery spiderwebs pattern between the branches. A complex system of pulleys, partially run by magic and partially run by mechanical ingenuity, occasionally and intermittently dot some of the branches. The denizens of this place live in little nooks, mostly carved out into the branches of the tree, but occasionally carved into the trunk of the tree for some of the more elite citizens. As outsiders, you had to make appeals to the natives to find someone willing to sponsor your stay in Vintar. In essence, these sponsors would be responsible for any and everything that you guys do. So you made your way upwards, eventually, into the elven tree, each of you having found your own sponsor. During your stay, you were treated as both exotic and dangerous. People were simultaneously intrigued by you all, and yet wary of you all. You were, much like zoo creatures brought to a new land.
Cool.
I want to be the giraffe.
Your sponsors provided you with passage into the city, but in return, you had to help them out with various tasks, chores, and errands. After a week within the city of doing almost nothing but work, it was a holiday. For some, this was a joyous occasion, marking the elves' transition from the Feywild into the material plane. However, for others, this was a solemn occasion, marking the imprisonment of the elves within the material plane. So the holiday of Concrescence has just passed for 3 of our characters. For Oni, the black-scaled dragonborn. For Riley, the human cleric. For Felix, the halfling bard. However, for our 2 other characters, Sebastian, the half-elf, and for Agar, the dwarf, who is not here, their celebration of Concrescence was different. You guys did not spend your time in the tree. Rather, as people were preparing for the holiday, you guys moved down to the Shady Vale, an area of land characterized by the deep shadows cast by the tree. So you spent your time in this area preparing for your own version of celebrating Concrescence. Sebastian, I need you to roll 5 wisdom checks for me.
Doesn't sound good.
It's pretty bad.
You just want the total for each?
Does he have an index card?
I forgot to give him an index card.
Ninja Star me one.
I mean, here,
Ninja
you can just use the back of mine.
No, Ninja Star.
I'm going to Ninja Star.
Oh, wow, that was real squeaky.
Here you go.
Well done.
I'll go to the highlights.
We're
Okay.
classy people.
Here, copy this.
Okay, so
But
give
not
me
the
5
checks.
wisdom checks.
Okay. Here's 2. Just straight wisdom?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a d20 plus your wisdom modifier. What's your first?
17.
Okay.
And the second is a 4.
Okay, so you have 1 success. Give me 3 more rolls.
Here's 2 more.
Nice.
Okay. Both 16.
Okay. You have 2 more successes. And then
I'll
1
add
final roll.
17.
17.
It's on fire.
Another success. So is that 3 or 4 successes? 4 successes.
Oh,
Okay.
this is good.
So during this time,
No, copy it.
your sponsor, Fisk, an elf who doesn't really say much. He's very reticent, extremely sparse with his words. He spends a lot of time in prayer and meditation. Most of your social interactions are kind of awkward because it's a lot of standing around in the same room, not really speaking to each other. But Fisk Fisk pulls back the hood of his robe one day, and he's wearing a deep green robe with bark that has been interwoven, kind of laced in and out. It kind of frames his head. He pulls it back, revealing long golden hair. And he begins to explain to you that your training with him during your time in Vintar is going to start to shift. And so rather than taking your time preparing food for the denizens of Vintar, you are now going to shift and start taking care of the sick, the weak, the needy, so forth and so on. So during this time, he starts teaching you magical incantations. It's a series of arcane words coupled with gestures, coupled with training that involves drawing on your inner essence, your inner intuition, to use that as sort of a font of energy for casting these spells. And you feel like you're getting closer and closer as you see him working throughout these days to picking up on exactly what he's doing, but it still currently eludes your grasp. So you have 4 successes. When you get to 10 successes, you will have learned your feat. Your magic initiate feat. Okay.
So you can just write over that one whenever you succeed.
So,
Dope as hell.
little time jump backwards. It's currently the eve of Concrescence. So while everyone is up in the tree, Sebastian, you were down in the Shady Vale. On the eve of Concrescence, you spent your morning creating masks and creating outfits that you were going to wear throughout the day. And as the day progressed, after you finished creating them during the first half of the day, the second half of the day was marked by actually wearing them. So you would put on a mask. It's kind of a masquerade paper mache with feathers and however you want to design it. And then every hour, you would layer another mask on, put on a new outfit, layer another mask on, put on a new outfit, and go through this process until you put on your final mask and your final outfit at midnight. In addition to that, there was an activity, you might say, where a number of you took to smashing stone columns that were built. So there were these large mallets and war hammers that you all would, almost like a carnival game, you all would take it and smack into it successively. Then, towards the evening, most of the people here were armed with kind of basic weapons, short swords, short daggers, things of the sort. A magical oil was passed around. You all covered your weapons in oil. And then they passed around a torch, and everyone's weapon was lit with the fire. So with this flaming dagger, you and everyone else successively took turns at slashing, piercing, stabbing, and bludgeoning a large cube of ice until you guys rent it, until it's just a puddle of water. Eventually, you did a lot more of these activities. They all involved the smashing or the breaking of something. There was a lot of playing with fire, or sort of fire dancers and whatnot. But eventually, things settled into comfort. Things settled down. You began having food and drink, singing solemn songs in unison, things of the sort. So that's the eve of Concrescence. Is there anything you would have liked to have done during that time out of the ordinary?
Want to air your grievances on a pole?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Did we ever figure out the name of the guy that hosted us when we got to the Vale?
Tevin.
Tepin! That's who
Tepin.
we talked to.
Right? I think
He
I
was
wrote
a good
that down.
dude.
Okay.
Because it wasn't important.
So,
Did
now,
I ever remember the name of my boyfriend?
Not Tepin.
That was the name we were looking for.
I could
Yeah,
not
I
remember
remember
the name of your boyfriend.
Neither could I. Guess he
Now-
didn't mean enough to
His
me.
boyfriend, right?
The eve of Concrescence,
For now.
you guys did all these activities up until midnight, and then you continued celebrating past midnight, up until the dawn. During the night, you guys had bonfires going. Things became more festive. There was lots of food and drink and merriment. There was a form of caroling as well.
What kind of caroling, man?
During your evening, during the celebration,
We're in a city, no.
you are all sitting around a campfire currently, and from the campfire, there's an explosion. Like the campfire erupts. It goes into this massive conflagration that's like 40, 50 feet tall. Out of the conflagration begins to die down, and out of it spirals this multicolored phoenix made of pure energy. It has long feathers that extend out of it. It's about 40, 50 feet long, and it spirals upwards. And as it spirals upwards, the shadows from the Vale, the shadows that had been dancing along the walls, all turn into hands that sort of reach out and try and grab this phoenix. The hands sort of form, taking a semi-corporeal essence to them. And they all start reaching out for the phoenix. The phoenix swoops around, it's diving, it comes down, it starts racing towards you. And you give me a dex saving throw.
What the fuck?
Think about the like the tree.
Ooh. Do you have Vale?
Do I? I think I do actually.
That's level 7.
No, I don't. It's a 17.
17. So the phoenix dives down, it swoops, it goes right through the bonfire. A number of people jump out of the way. Some of them actually get caught within the phoenix's energy, and it's racing right towards you. What?
It should have been a 20. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. It's racing towards you. At the last second, the shadows around you coalesce into two claws that jump forward, trying to grab this phoenix right by sort of the neck, and you are right in the middle of these two hands, and you jump upward. The hands come, you just barely feel like a cold wind pass by, and there's a chill to your spine, but you manage to avoid being consumed by these hands made of pure shadow. The hands sort of keep emerging out of the ground, chasing after this phoenix that is flying around. What would you like to do?
I need to change my pants. I shout in Elvish to the nearest person to me, like, "What the heck was that?"
Everyone seems to be scattered and lost and confused. Like you see people that are just like they've taken their weapons and they seem to be making strikes
At the phoenix or the hand?
No, in the air. There's
Oh.
nothing actually there. You see the hands and the hands chasing the phoenix around. And then you see a couple people are writhing on the ground. One of them's trying to grasp something that's on him, but as you look at him, there's nothing there.
People be high up in this bitch.
None on purpose.
I'll just go to the nearest person.
Okay,
To
so
me. Or if someone's writhing nearby, I'll go to them first.
you find Tevin, the guy that granted you guys housing a few weeks back. He's currently on the ground, frantically batting at his head as if he's being swarmed by invisible bats, but you don't see anything.
Tepin, what's going on? What's happening?
Sebastian! Get them off! Get them off!
What is them? I'll help you, but I don't know what them is. I can't see them.
He has trouble actually articulating what it is. Just like he scrambles up to get to his feet and just tries running away, but then he trips after a few feet. At this point, Sebastian, you can feel the wind is sort of racing around. You see the phoenix is coming back. It's making another run right towards you. Give me another dex save.
20.
20. Again, the hands are emerging out of the ground. But you manage to jump out of the way, barrel rolling onto your side, ducking behind one of the walls of one of the buildings, and then the phoenix just eventually, this goes on for a few minutes where the hands are chasing the phoenix. People are fighting all these individual spirits or shadows or whatever that you can't see. And then after a while, the phoenix races up into the air, comes down into the fire. The fire again explodes into a conflagration. And then everything settles back down.
Do people calm down immediately?
Yes.
They seem to be calming down.
Calm down immediately.
All right, I'll go back and find Tevin and ask him again. First of all, ask him if he needs any. Tevin, do you need any? Are you hurt? Do you need any medical assistance? What happened?
You can see he's currently like clutching his heart as if he's sort of worried that he's gonna have a heart attack or something, and he's just looking at you, looking around. Where did they go? Where did they go?
I never saw them. I didn't see what they were in the first place.
That has never happened before. Could this be an omen? Perhaps it is an omen.
Do I see the Kaio?
Kaio?
Do I
small
see
girl?
her? Or her mother?
Give me a perception check.
Meanwhile, in the tree.
I'm drinking a lot.
Only a 5.
5. You look around.
Just no fight.
People are moving around, and they're like sort of clustered together. And it's a bit dark here. Even with your dark vision, everyone's kind of spread out. You don't immediately see Kaio or Eleanor.
Tevin, were they creatures that were attacking you? What did they look like?
Like monstrous, distorted bats with larger fangs and red eyes and spikes that ran along their back that seemed to be bleeding.
Did they hurt you?
He looks around. They were clawing at me and clearly hurt, but don't see any wounds.
Tevin, do you feel all right now? I'm gonna go check something out.
I feel fine. Yes.
How far am I from Kaio and her mother's house?
From their house? Oh, it's within the area. I mean,
Okay.
you can.
I'd like to go. I'd like to go again creepily, stealth and look in her window.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll.
18.
18. Okay, so you creep along back behind the wooded shacks, behind where the festivities were taking place, and you go to Kaio's bedroom, and you don't see her in there, but then you creep around to the front, and you see that her and her mother are out front, and the mother is currently like caressing her daughter's hair, kind of wiping the black tangled mass of hair that's kind of going every which way. Strands of it are curled down into her mouth usually. She's got the pale skin and the long plain white shirt that's a bit too baggy for her. And Kyle, previously when you had met with her, spoken with her, was just a mess of twitching. She's currently sitting still, relaxed.
Can you remind me of the mother's name?
Eleanor.
Okay. I approach not as sneakily. Eleanor, we just had a commotion over at the bonfire. Is everything all right here? Did you see what happened?
As soon as you step out, she hugs her daughter close for a second, and then immediately kind of there's a look of pain, defensiveness on her as she sees you approaching immediately after this commotion. And she looks at you, her brown hair kind of across her eyes. She pushes it out of the way. We're fine, Sebastian.
Some of the other villagers said they were attacked by creatures that I could not see. did you experience this as well? Are you all both all right?
We were spared from it.
Has this ever happened before that you're aware of? Tepin said that he hadn't seen anything like this.
No, never. She like pulls her daughter in tighter.
I would like to try to do an insight check.
All right, give me an insight check.
Not optimistic here.
It's those damn dirty drow.
10.
10.
Wow. Better than me.
You're not sure whether it's the adrenaline that's coursing through your veins or whether it's the look of panic in Eleanor's eyes, but some combination of factors just tells you instinctually that they're being earnest.
I'd like to address Kaio directly. Kaio,
So you walk around, you kind of like parallel with them, so you walk around to the front.
yeah, I'll crouch down a little bit so I'm approximately eye level.
Okay.
As not imposing in general, but slightly less tall. And say, Kaio, did you see anything weird when that was happening, or did you feel anything weird?
Give me a perception check.
Perception.
I have to change dice.
Would you like mine?
9.
Okay. Kaio doesn't really make eye contact with you. She's kind of keeping her face down and away from you. What did you ask her? I forgot.
Did she see anything or feel anything during the
Weird.
commotion?
She kind of just absentmindedly rubbing her mom's arm that's hugging her, and she's like, she looks up at her mom and looks back down. No.
I'm gonna try to do a sleight of hand casting of message to her.
Okay, sleight of hand.
You just can't stop bugging this girl.
13?
Okay, so you pull your cloak sort of in front of your knee as you're crouched down and you begin casting, but a couple of your fingers start creating like tents in your robe as you're casting. And Eleanor is like, Sebastian, there's to be none of that. She gets really stern and really serious. She stands up with Kaio. We're going inside. She walks in.
As she's walking away, Eleanor! We need to know what's going on. My friends and I are very skilled. I'm trying to do a persuasion check.
Alright, give me a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Mechanic terms. Those are both 2 digits, right?
19.
19. The door still slams in your face.
Okay. But not quite as hard.
But considerably.
But she comes to the window next to the door. And you can hear her muffled through the glass. Just saying, it is none of your concern. Leave us be.
What's the guy I'm working with again?
Fisk.
Fisk.
Look, I'm being sponsored by Fisk, and he's teaching me not only about the people here, but also, you know, how to help them in their time of need. And I feel your daughter is very gifted, but she needs assistance. And I think if her power continues to grow without, you know, any sort of guidance, she might become more of a danger to others or even herself. And my friends and I sincerely want to help you, but we need to know if she was responsible or somehow involved in this commotion.
Katasha will help us.
Has Katasha's tutoring been effective? Have you asked your daughter? if she thinks it's effective?
Honestly, no, but what choice do we have?
How about I speak with my friends, and maybe we'll all come back and talk to you at some point. But for now, we'll let you stay here and let things settle down.
She just draws the curtain. And then you can hear muffled voices from inside the house. So, the rest of your evening goes uneventful, relatively speaking. People are very confused. They don't know what happened. They're trying to process it. They're trying to figure out what had happened. A lot of them immediately jump to explanations involving religious omens. This is a sign that they were never supposed to. The elves were never supposed to leave the Feywild. This is some sort of cosmic religious retribution from the gods, and sort of a lot of them dig their feet deeper into their beliefs.
As I'm sort of, I guess, overhearing conversation or maybe even engaging in conversation with people, is everyone in the Vale around me, are they all elves? Can I see any non-elves?
You see a number of dwarves, but it's exclusively elves and dwarves. And then,
It's like a 90,
give me a perception check.
It's like a 90-10 split.
Roughly.
Ooh, 17.
17. And then, there is one person down there, human, dressed in nice plate armor that's encrusted with numbers of like jewels and diamonds and gems and
No.
Balls.
but there's just a human down there.
I'd like to approach said human.
Okay.
Hello there. Were you...
He's currently drinking from a tankard filled with what you recognize to be the thick alcoholic tree sap that they formed from the tree itself. He's got a big dwarven beard. You can tell that by the way it's cut and maintained that it's sort of dwarven in nature, even though he's clearly human.
Greetings. I'm checking around with everyone to see if anyone knows about the crazy thing that happened over by the bonfire a moment ago.
Yeah, shit's wild. I ain't seen nothing like it before. Wasn't expecting that. I thought all the fun stuff was over with the smashing of the stone and the cutting of the ice cubes and all that stuff.
Yeah, I heard some of the villagers saw creatures attacking them. Did you see anything like that? I did not.
I think we all did. Yeah, I saw my own share of beasts. Didn't leave a mark. Strangest thing.
Are you from this area?
Gods know.
Where you hail from?
Up north. Baton.
Okay. Are you,
Where are you from?
I'm from, a travel, but Bandor area.
Alright. City's currently turned into stone, you realize that?
I did not. I mean, I've heard stories.
You didn't know?
I haven't seen it myself.
Friend, if you've got family there, they're currently statues. The entire city has been turned to stone.
It's unfortunate, but I
hate to be the
don't have
one
much family there.
to break the news to you like this.
Cavalier League, yeah.
Really? Wait, oh man.
Let's just say I wasn't there long and I left.
He like gestures to like share his tankard with you in commiseration for the fact that he just told you your city's made of stone.
I
I'll
burst the
take
bubble
it.
shit
All
outside,
right.
I'll take
man.
it. Yeah, thank you. Are you here to gain entry into Vintar?
I've had entry. Sponsor. Up and down. Currently down. Shitty Vale.
Me too. What are you here for? If you don't mind me asking. I guess they don't get a lot of visitors.
Oh boy.
I was here on work, and then they didn't need me anymore. They said, take a holiday. And it was either the tree or underground with the dwarves. So I prefer the open air myself.
I hear you. Does he have any like insignia or anything designating, like, does he work for someone? Like, I'm assuming he looks really out of place relative to everyone else.
Yes, he does. He does. He's wearing thick armor encrusted with jewels. He's a walking, just walking paragon of like ostentation, and just like he's clearly a braggart. He does have a clear emblem, and it's a pattern engraved on his armor in several spots, even on a helmet that he's wearing covering the top of his head, kind of Spartan style.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a representation of what he's wearing. It's a radial pattern of like gems and diamonds and jewels in a radial pattern.
Are you a soldier, or your
Yeah,
armor is
basically.
magnificent? I'm just trying to determine why you need it here in this area.
You don't need it. I like it.
I can respect that. I have a friend who's someone like that. Not quite as tall. Well, hopefully your travels go well, and if you see anything else strange and happen to see me, maybe flag me down and let me know. I'm a bit curious as to what that was. I'm learning magic myself at the moment, and that's not like anything I've ever experienced.
Will do. I'll snoop around. What's your name?
Sebastian, and yours?
Gareth. He clasps you rather than like going for the hand to hand. He goes forearm to forearm.
Okay.
He gives you a big, like, heavy grip, digging his nails into your forearm.
Rude.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your holiday.
Enjoy your drink.
Turns around.
Right.
A few days pass. You spend that night in the Vale, and then afterwards you go back up into the tree with Fisk. So now, for the three of you, it has been a couple days since Concrescence. Is there anything specific you would have liked to have done in that time, starting with Oni, the Black-Scaled Dragonborn,
Yes, I
who's
would like...
currently in Tiefling form,
Yes,
right?
Currently I am Tiefling. Although I'm at this point pretty cavalier about switching on and off.
Okay, so you regularly switch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever somebody comments on it, I'll just be like, oh yeah, I can do that, and then switch off, and then again, whenever it happens again. I am looking for Fanetta Faithful.
Okay. How are you looking for Fanetta Faithful?
Well, I spoke to the druid lady, or druid assistant. I'm not quite sure if she was a druid as well.
Basically an assistant, yeah.
Okay. But Olivia, I need to talk to Olivia as well. I recall Fanetta Faithfoot was supposed to be like super busy for the festival and keeping Victory alive. So I am going to see if now that it's after the festival, she should be a little less busy, but Victory still needs to be alive. I guess I'll find the assistant again.
Okay. You find Olivia, and she is currently in terms of the hierarchy of branches in the tree, she's in one of the middle branches. And her nook, her home that's built into the tree, is it's always framed by a series of grid-like pockets of soil. That's sort of some of the wood has been dug out and soil has been put in. And there are different like mushrooms that are growing out of there, different colors, different sizes, each in their own patch. And she's currently tending to them. She hears someone approaching. She turns around and looks back.
Hello.
She's young, elven, kind of rounder features, wears large spectacles.
Ooh.
Just kind of has like short cropped hair, kind of like a bob cut. And she's just wearing a simple green dress. Oh, hello, Mr.
I am Oni.
No, Oni.
Yes.
Yes, Oni.
Hello. Two things. First thing, I need access to library if at all possible, please. Second thing, I need to speak with Fanetta Faithful. If at all possible, please.
So some mighty large requests, a cup of tea, a couple of mushrooms for dinner, but you reaching straight for the top shelf.
Yes.
May I ask why you would like to speak with Finetta?
Yes. I suppose I will tell you. You didn't actually ask, but I will tell you. So I have a specific interest in finding information regarding blights and the death of plant life and things of this nature. Blood drain, I think, may be a part of it. I'm not sure. But I have not found anything substantial that has educated me enough to get rid of these types of problems. However, I found a story that Vanetta Faithful was involved in, and she has information about blights. I need this information so that I can heal the land that I am from.
I can give me a persuasion check.
Okay. About right. 12.
12. She says, her eyes kind of like wander around. She's looking upward.
Either library or orphanage, I think.
I'll bring it up to her next time I see her.
And let me know then after.
Sure. Stop by. Check in with me periodically.
Okay. Yes, okay.
And she bends down, she picks up a mushroom. Would you like it?
Okay. What do I do with this?
Eat it.
Do I like it?
Does Oni like mushrooms?
Not so much.
Mushroom check.
As you're eating it, you feel a small tug.
Mm.
And you look down and there's an orange-scaled kobold, your friend, Arquillo. Oni,
Yes.
you gotta season it. And he reaches in, he's wearing a cross belt, and he pulls out a pouch and
I reach out.
give me more. He says to Olivia. Olivia's like, aren't you the cutest, rudest thing? Gives him a little.
Accurate, yes.
He like when she hands it to him, she like snatches it. Pulls out a pouch. Some of this.
Mm-hmm.
Some of this.
Mhm.
You gotta mix it.
Mm.
Try this.
I rip it in half. Would you like the other half?
To Olivia.
Yeah.
She inspects it, looks down at the cold bowl, looks up at you, looks down at the cold bowl, looks at it.
I understand if you don't, it's fine.
She sniffs it, like,
I just go for it.
she bites like a small corner of it.
Yep.
It tastes earthy. Yeah, it's great.
Yes, yes it does. Yes.
Cool.
Well done, Aquila, thank you. Okay.
Darling, would you like the rest of this? I don't want to deprive you of your... Okay, gimme. And he just like...
Yep.
Swallows it in one bite, practically without chewing.
Dog.
This is
Pretty much.
This is Aquila. He does. He's king of kobolds. Yes. Thank you again. I appreciate the consideration. And if there is anything I can do for you or Fanetta, Faithful. Miss Faithful, I'm not sure what she prefers.
Vanetta's fine.
Thank you. I would be happy to do what I can. I believe, if I remember correctly, last night is a bit for the memory.
The fuzzy.
It is like fuzzy, but I will think about that later. But I think someone had mentioned, maybe you, that the possible cause of the death of tree is the roots.
Yes, it's been rumored that the tree of Intar is currently ill due to something poisoning its roots, and the roots, since the tree is so large, the roots are so extensive that it's extremely difficult to pinpoint.
That makes sense. I am not the most familiar with natural things. I'm more proficient with arcane. But if there is anywhere you would like me to look, specifically or something like that, I can do this as well.
Only I wouldn't know where to begin, but I will convey your sentiment to Finetta.
Thank you. I am staying with Olivan. Olavin?
Oh, the dwarf.
Yes, Olavin. Good man.
Enjoys practicing his gnomish.
Yes. Yes.
It's not endearing. Not to us, they don't speak gnomish.
Yes, I don't get to speak it often, so it is nice to be able to practice it every now and then.
Well, Oni, have a pleasant day and LFA.
LFA. And you as well. And I'll take off.
Riley and Felix, anything you guys wanted to do in the 2 days?
Shit, there was one more thing. Sorry.
I can wait.
Huh?
I was supposed to
free,
talk to
do your thing.
Rivendare.
Oh, Revendare?
Yeah, I was supposed to talk to him again to get a book on speaking Elvish.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We don't need to RP it if it's something that can happen quickly.
Yeah, basically Revendare just pulls a book off the shelf and
Awesome.
he-
Okay.
it's not really book of translate. It's not like a translation
Right.
book. It's more like things are written in Gnomish and then things are written in Elvish.
Dope.
Question: Is Revendare the character that I would be familiar with?
No, they met him during Concrescence, and you were
Okay.
downstairs during Concrescence.
Okay.
Down the tree.
Kyle's familiar.
That's what I meant.
Kyle's familiar,
Okay.
but
Okay. Sure.
Sebastian is not.
Yeah.
Right on. So yeah, I just needed the book on how to speak Elvish stuff.
Okay.
And-
Riley?
And then we good.
Is there anything, or Felix?
Yes.
Samesies. You wanna go first or second?
Either?
I don't care. I feel like I always go last. Do you want me to go?
All right, go ahead, Riley.
Okay. I want to try to disguise myself using my disguise kit as, like, conservative? Librarianly? Like a good student?
So very little skin,
I mean, yeah, but
buttons all the way to the top.
one bun. I'm gonna take my 2 buns, make 1 bun,
Okay.
and put spectacles on.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me a disguise kit roll.
I can't remember. I know I'm proficient, but I can't remember what else to add in it.
Dexterity.
Sweet! 24.
24. So through the combination of your own pack, as well as through digging through Venetia, your sponsor's closet, you manage to find the pieces for this arrangement.
Okay. And then I want to make my way to Katasha's place.
Okay.
And as I do that, I'm going to take out Care Bear, feed him a little bit. Berries? I don't know. What do you feed a miniature bear?
So you reach into your pocket and you pull out this stone statue of a bear, and as you unfurl your hand, you can see this like stone layer of skin kind of withdrawing. And then within your hand is just a living, breathing, tiny miniature bear.
That's the coolest thing ever.
With a dragon costume.
Oh, it was a
Did
dragon
you made a
costume?
dragon costume for it? I
Yeah.
totally forgot. Okay.
Yeah.
That is currently wearing a dragon costume fashioned by Riley during the Concrescence
And I
holiday.
think you feed it anchovies
And right
or
now,
sardines.
it was currently curled up in a ball, sleeping, and it rises to its feet, kind of stretches, and then it stands up and its tiny bare legs kind of stretching out its spine. And then it sits down on its butt, like,
What?
but in your little palm, it's just like,
Food. Then I just want to be like, Katasha. Hello? Katasha. Hello, Katasha. And I just want to like practice how to be really formal.
okay. The
Bad
bear
start.
takes this berry that you give it, and it kind of pulls it into between its legs like a basketball, and it scrapes against it. And then as it scrapes, it pulls off pulp. And you're just like, you just eat slowly, like clawing and eating this basketball of a cherry.
Don't stain your costume! Then I make my way to her house.
It's a cherry-sized bear. That's dope.
Yeah, the bear is like this big,
Yeah,
and then the cherry, like relative to it, is like the size of
Half.
a basketball.
Yeah.
dope.
Okay, I make my way to her place.
Okay. So you leave your nook, daytime or nighttime?
Afternoon?
Okay, so it's still daylight. You make your way along the branches. You move towards the trunk and move up the rope ladders that connect one branch to another. Occasionally, you look down to see the spidery webs with silver glistening in the daylight. Then eventually you make your way to the appropriate branch, and then you walk inwards towards the trunk, towards where you know Katasha to be living.
Knock, knock, knock.
Okay, you knock on the door. There's a moment's pause, but eventually Katasha does answer the door. And she opens the door, and what you see is an elven woman, taller, with white hair that's pulled back into a single, very tight bun. Kind of like yours, but more assiduously put together. Like, there's not a loose hair anywhere.
Bun's very stern.
She's got glasses, and right behind her glasses you can see crescent cataracts in her eyes. She's wearing trim cut greens with a brown vest, and out of the vest are a number of quills that come out intermittently. There's a golden compass that hangs around her neck. She opens the door to see you. Oh, hello, Riley, I believe.
Hello, Katasha?
LFA.
Elephant.
Close.
I'm practicing.
Keep practicing.
Quills. I heard that you make these bags and you can put like 1 million things in them, and then they can be really tall, like taller than the bag, and then you can pull them out and they're still intact, and if you think about it, it comes out. Can I have one? I'll pay for it though.
You step inside. So you walk into the door. She closes it. She's got a number of books that line her shelves. They're very meticulously and diligently arranged. Like, not one book is like taller than the next until there's a next series of them. All her papers are in order.
She arranges her books by height?
Yeah.
Okay.
Her bed is neatly made. She sits down in a chair. She's currently got a cup of tea or something. She sits, gestures towards the other chair.
I uncomfortably sit down. It's like too organized in here.
As you sink into her chair, she goes, straighten your posture. Now, bag of holding, yes?
Yes.
These can be made. These can be enchanted. They take time.
A lot of time?
If you want it done properly, and I assume you do,
Well, yeah.
then you cannot rush these things.
Okay.
I can have one to you in 2 months. 500 gold. And a dozen hours of service.
Okay. What if... Do you have like a spare one lying around? Then you won't even have to make it. Like, so much less work.
Ugh.
And like 20 hours of service.
If you're looking for a second-hand bag, go talk to Revendare.
Oh.
He may
Well-
have some lying around.
Are his bags properly made?
As far as I know, they haven't hasn't lost anything from them.
I met your husband.
Excuse me? You met Belsarin?
Yeah.
Where?
Concrescence.
Oh, yes, he must have been at the holiday. She doesn't quite know how to move forward as sort of memories begin to flood your mind of Belsarin, who was this gibbering mess of incoherence, kind of staring off into space, just slightly rocking as he was standing there as a servant held his hand.
I was just wondering what happened because I'm a cleric and I thought like maybe I could help.
Give me a persuasion check. And if you're sitting upright with advantage.
I'm sitting like I'm sitting now.
Alright.
Okay, 15.
15. Let's just say he got too close to the twins.
Mm-hmm.
What? Like, physically or mentally?
His research into the twins was... He should have stopped.
Are you telling me if I get, like, super close to them and I touch them, am I gonna go, like, wacko?
What... You've met the twins?
Weren't they at Concrescence?
No, they were not.
Oh, I saw some twins, though.
Yes. Not those twins.
There's other twins? There's only like 100 people here.
They were not at the celebration.
Where are they?
She takes a long, slow sip of her tea.
Do I have tea?
Yeah, give a cup.
Okay.
Honestly, I wish I knew.
Do you think I can help?
Take no offense, but I don't see how you could possibly help.
Like, restoration, or cure wounds, or...
For your husband? For my husband?
I don't have a husband. Ooh.
No. I know you're training with Venetia, and truth be told, your abilities, your connection with the divine pales in comparison with Venetia, and Venetia has been, as of yet, helpless. So, I appreciate the offer, but afraid this is above your weight class.
Okay, yeah. I don't know how glasses work in real life. Oh yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, I'm sorry that, I'm sorry. Thank you for your help.
Very well.
Yeah. Okay. Here's your tea. Bye.
Study hard with Venetia. She won't let you down.
I need to do more of that. I'm not good at studying.
Divera says otherwise.
Okay.
Don't think I don't know.
Oh. Yeah.
You look towards a room where you had previously seen purple smoke emanating from. Nothing at the moment.
Forgot about that.
Anything else? Okay. So you leave. Go back to your note.
You really were the best person for that.
Felix, anything you wanted to do?
Two big things. One, after my night of fun, I would like I would like to go back to the tailors first thing in the morning.
Okay.
And just barge in her door. Is she there?
Yes. Narayan, the person that actually officially owns it, is not there, but his assistant is there, and currently putting stuff away, organizing, folding some fabrics at the moment. She sees you walk in. Oh, Mr. Venuste, how did your holiday attire serve you?
Oh, it was wondrous. I'm still wearing my halfling from the waist up t-shirt. Iona's not here, right? Well, tell you what. Are you well adept at making t-shirts?
I mean, perhaps not as quick as Narayan, but the same level of skill.
Beautiful.
If not
How would
speed.
you like to make a ton of money?
A ton of money. What, Mr. Felix, do you consider to be a ton of money? And she folds some over and then gives it like a hard crease. pulls it to the side, and then pulls out another green piece of fabric, starts folding it.
Well, no, I know that money's not exactly your thing here. Just whatever you desire. We need to make a T-shirt, and it just needs to read Concrescence Eve, whatever year this is, Rockin' to the Roots from Felix Day. Because I put on the greatest show in the history of the city last night. I don't know if you caught it, but it needs to be commemorated in T-shirt form, maybe a statue. You know, I might did get a key to the city. You know, I don't want to tell you guys how to do your jobs, but there's great money here for you. If you get on the ground floor, use my likeness to create a T-shirt to commemorate that awesome performance.
Give me a persuasion check.
All right.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
24.
For those of you that weren't here for Concrescence, Felix performed and rolled a 38
Yeah.
with the help of a bardic inspiration from a fellow NPC. How much?
24.
24. She looks at you, says, tell you what, I'll make one shirt for you on the house. It's your job to collect interest. If you can garner enough pre-sales for the shirt, we can go into mass production. But I'm not making 24 of these before.
You got it. I can think of about 30 people right now. I can't imagine they wouldn't be on board.
All right. I'll get to work. Give me a couple days. A day.
You got it.
Give me a day.
Hey, any day that you delay is a day that you'll be not making extra money.
Good luck.
Thank you. You as well.
Goes back to folding.
All right. Thank you. I will then go change back into my usual attire. My
Okay.
black silk pants, green button down. Fix my hair, you know, get cleaned up. And then I don't know, are there any, there aren't really guards, right? Like I want to speak to somebody official.
You can see, I mean, it doesn't take you too long, but you find someone dressed in similar attire to Javier, who was wearing lots of loose green clothing that was sort of pinched off at the ends of the limbs with like essentially bark bracers and kind of a bark vest. of sorts.
I can assume that I've gotten word from Zula, right, about like what Bard would have said to do, and
Yes, it's been a day. You
Okay.
you received communication from the Emerald Isles about your situation.
okay. So I will find that person.
Okay.
And say, oh wait, I'm not supposed to really reveal that I'm a vamp yet. Right. So I will go up to him and say,
Thank God he's
afternoon. How are you doing today?
Still shaking out the spider webs from Concrescence, but that means it was a good one.
Good. Side question, was this guy at my orgy?
No, he was not there.
Damn.
I thought he was.
Okay.
Not this guy specifically.
Oh, okay.
Was there anyone official at my orgy? Gotten to know.
If they were not wearing official uniforms.
Oh, that would have been
Very
so
much-
hot. Okay. No, okay, just this guy. So, who would I talk to about official matters here? I have questions about like the government system and the way politics are run.
I mean, I could tell you the basics, but if you want a more formal, top-down sort of explanation, you could talk to Javier himself.
Devia, is that like your king or
No,
your president?
he's the head of the guards. He's the head of the guards that took you to see Melzana.
Cool. Yeah, let's talk to him.
Okay. Right now?
Yeah, lead the way.
Okay. He takes you to meet them. And Javier is currently at a desk. He's got a paper and some quill.
Actually, no, no. Can we back out of that? Can I chicken out of that halfway through?
Sure.
Okay. I need to talk to the group before I get myself kicked out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wise.
Yeah. So no, okay, so I'm gonna back out of that and just search for Riley and Oni.
Okay, you know where they are. They're not together at the moment, so you can find one of them.
I mean, I'd like if I could bring them together. You know, maybe wait till we get off work and then go meet up at the pub.
Tell you what. Actually, Olavan comes to you, Oni, and
Yes,
says
hello.
that you have some business down in the Vale
Okay.
that you need to. Part of your duty is to help them clean up, disassemble from the holiday celebration. Riley, you know from Venetia that you were also sent down there to help with cleanup, help with anything that might have arisen during the holiday, healing, and just any sort of spiritual aid that you can provide. Maybe
I
some
have my
guidance.
hangover concoction.
You do have your hangover concoction. So, Felix, Silt will actually give you like a holiday, like a day off.
Ooh.
But you will have to follow Oni and Riley down into the Vale during your
I
holiday
can dig
off.
it. I feel like there was a reason I really wanted to go down there recently. I can't remember it.
Don't you want to say hi to your boyfriend?
That was what I was gonna lie about.
Kyle, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know, I'll figure it out while I'm down there.
Okay. So, Felix, you come to find Oni. Oni's in the middle of packing up to go down into the Vale. As the two of you are conversing and going down, Riley, you actually are coming down with Venetia. And you all, just coincidentally, meet up at the same platform, and you all ride the same mechanical, magical platform down into the Vale that evening, making the platform's last trip of the day. And as you guys walk to the Shady Vale, the town, you also see Sebastian, who's currently helping Fisk out.
Dope.
They seem to be currently just helping the smith move some lumber to the side of his shack.
The Smith is the boyfriend. Yeah.
So you guys can
make
all
my way
meet
over
up.
there, yeah. Okay. They need help. That's what I'm here for, right? Sebastian.
I'll supervise.
Alright. So
As they
Sebastian,
are
you-
going away, I'll just be like, hey guys, meet me afterward.
Oh, where do you want to meet?
At your bar?
At my bar, yeah.
Okay.
You say at your bar, at his bar, and you look over to just a tree stump in between a couple of shacks that has some like random splayed mugs and bottles around it.
Okay.
There seem to be some couple stray like carve marks in it. You get the sense that someone was like they were playing like a throwing knives game,
Nice.
Very nice.
It's also
Drunken
dark.
daggers.
basically.
Yeah.
So you guys meet up with Sebastian. You are now together.
Hi!
How was your Concrescence?
Greetings. Eventful, I suppose.
Yes.
There
Good.
was a phoenix that exploded out of a bonfire, and then all the villagers were attacked by, to me, invisible creatures that did not harm them.
Did everyone see the Phoenix?
Everybody but me, apparently. Even some jewel-encrusted armor-wearing dude named Garrett.
So, you were the only one that saw the phoenix in the hands?
Yeah.
Everyone else saw their own thing.
Yeah, clarifying. I saw the phoenix in hands. Everyone else said they were attacked by flying bat-like monsters.
Everyone had a unique thing. So some were bats, some were like hellhounds, some were other undescribable humanoid creatures with long, kind of spiky fingernails. So
It was pretty confusing.
Yeah.
But I did not see those things. I saw a phoenix.
It was like illusion spell.
And I'm fairly confident Kaya was involved, and her mom does not want us to talk about it, but I think we should.
Do you... What's your biggest fear?
Not a phoenix with hand things.
Oh.
Maybe it is now.
I mean, that was my point, but actually I really want to know what's your biggest fear?
I'd rather not talk about it right now, because I haven't really thought about it. But
Okay.
let's just say it's not, or at least previously wasn't, magical Phoenix and
It was
hand
probably
things.
the ritualistic circles of death that the gnolls made. Or perhaps the undead giants. Those were all pretty bad.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff now.
Yes.
Anyways, I think Kaio is becoming more and more dangerous, and whoever her tutor person is not, I don't think, doing a good enough job, or is underqualified.
So I kind of met with Katasha by myself, and I totally didn't mention Kaio.
Who's Katasha again?
The sorcerer, the lady who's trying to help her. I don't know if she's a sorceress.
She's wizard.
Okay,
How do they call this?
wizard, sorcerer.
They're very different. It is like one has magic and one learns magic. I learn magic.
But you also have. Okay.
Yes.
Oops.
That is fine.
It's okay. I think her mom's pretty set on that relationship, and I don't think she'll be easily convinced otherwise.
Everyone saw something different.
Seems like it.
Are there other people from the Vale around?
Yeah, all the normal people living in the Vale. Tepin's there.
Tepin.
The smith.
Tepin, come here.
He probably hates us by now.
No. Tepin and I are buds.
That's
Uh,
Boney certainly thinks so.
Tepin was currently just tending to his horses, and he puts them in the stable. And... Oh,
Hello.
Mr. Oni.
Yes, Mr. Tepin. Question.
Yes.
The drow that attack here sometimes.
Yes.
Do they ever use magic?
Of course.
Illusion magic?
Sometimes.
Do you think perhaps that is what happened with the fire and the beasts and such?
If
Is
that's
anything important missing?
no, as far as I know, no one's missing anything. If it was illusion magic, it was illusion magic of capability we've never seen before.
Yes.
Possible that's what it was, but we've never the illusion magic from the drow that we're used to seeing, things like impenetrable darkness, invisibility, disguises, perhaps small sounds and illusions that bother the mind, but nothing of this magnitude.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Tepin. Would you like drink?
I think I've had enough during Concrescence.
Happy Concrescence. I think. Is that the word? Alafe.
I don't think he likes Congress.
LFA,
Okay.
Oni.
Could we pretend I asked Fisk if he saw anything? Was he there or was he gone at that point?
He was there. He was with you.
Can we pretend I asked him if he saw anything?
He saw something as well.
Okay. But not the Phoenix hands.
No, he saw a turtle-like creature with black spikes that kept popping in and out of it. Shing, 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 shing.
You saw a Koopa?
King Koopa, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything I improvise is already a thing.
Not really.
It's
That's a
okay.
joke.
That's the case for everyone. all the
Everything
time
you
anyway.
improvise can be a joke. That's the problem.
Okay.
Oh,
Simpsons
yeah,
did it first.
Okay.
Never
So
mind.
Simpsons did it first.
South Park
Simpsons
joke.
always did it first.
Oh.
Okay. So illusions from fire, and then Diveris is very good illusionist. So maybe he did something.
No, he was with us.
I'm fairly
wouldn't
sure
do that.
it was Kaio related.
Okay.
I asked her specifically whether or not she knew anything or felt anything associated with the illusions, I guess. And before answering me, she looked to her mother and then said no. And I tried to cast message, but was not as sneaky as I could have been. And she doesn't like me. I don't think she likes us in general, but she certainly doesn't like me right now.
There's only makes happy things, or not happy, but positive things. He doesn't want to scare people.
Okay.
I mean, unless they want to be scared. I promise he didn't do this.
I believe you. Also, it would be 500 plus feet up versus it seems like a long space to cast something.
Before we get to scary music,
Yes.
Yes.
During the day, I would like to have been in search for someone that I could cast my special message to.
More? You are insatiable.
Okay. Give me an insight check to try and find someone who you think would be amenable to your message.
19.
19. You find a couple people. You see Eleanor.
Oh.
Eleanor looks like she's had a rough few days. And you see a couple of dwarves, which in your experience may be the type to go along.
They're down like a clown, Charlie Brown.
Hey.
And it's your choice who you want to talk with.
Dwarves.
Okay, you go to the dwarves. I assume you casually shoot them the special message from afar.
Yep. I try to get a few drinks in him first.
Okay, so you make your presence known first.
Yep.
Okay.
And I will, hand out a few Vale Bringers, the awesome signature drink of my bar.
I have a question. During this, do we know where he is?
Did you stealth away, or
he's
were
with
you
us.
just like?
No, I didn't join them in the first place.
He told us
Like,
to come meet him after we got done with work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So I
wondering. The
figure,
time
like,
frame.
they're all off doing their own things, so I'm
This is
off
during the
doing
day.
my own thing.
Gotcha.
Okay. So you talk to him, you get him drunk, you put on your bardic halfling charm. Give me a persuasion check.
Gonna use luck. Alright, 23.
Okay. One of them seems to catch your eye,
No.
and when you shoot the special message, he accepts, or he's interested, rather.
Okay.
He's interested, but he says, I need a few days.
Okay. I will do my best to meet you back here in a couple days.
Very
We're
well.
not sure, honestly. He could very well be a succubi, and we just don't know. Incubi, because it's a dude.
Okay.
That we know of.
Right.
I will go back to my bar.
Okay, you go back to manning your bar. You're pulling up the mugs and the things were all splayed, and you're putting it all back in order. Tap in, and some of the other locals instinctually, without even asking, start bringing you alcoholic beverages to start
Oh, what a good place to be.
start restocking. And then you guys finish your duties, and you can all meet up as a group.
As we're at the bar, I want to try something. I don't know how this will work out, but basically, I want to talk to someone near Felix, but not to Felix. And as I'm talking to that person, I want to, in Thieves' Camp, slip in his name and try to get a cocktail party effect so I can tell whether or not he speaks Thieves' Camp, because I don't know this right now.
There are no halflings other than him, I think. You could use that instead of the actual name, because I think the name's too obvious.
Okay, so you're going to speak to a local here who has come by to.
If someone else is at the bar and I'm near Felix, but he's not talking to him, I want to see if he turns his head when I say his name in Thieves' Camp. I don't even know that's how it works, but
Okay. Felix, would you turn your head?
So, I've gone on record saying that I've been actively trying to avoid showing him that I know Thieves' Camp.
It's true. So are you
it's just
gonna
be a
maintain
reaction
that?
thing. I feel like that's a roll, but some kind of wisdom check, I think.
Probably insight.
I mean,
Yeah.
if that's how you want to play it.
Either that
Yeah,
or a
it's
saving
insight.
throw. One of the two.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an insight check. versus So that's 14 plus. Yeah, I'm at 19.
Roll a persuasion check, I think, to counter. Is that a thing?
Is that what you were thinking?
I don't know. I don't know how that was really gonna go.
I think the way I interpreted it was like a saving throw. If you roll low, you would have looked
Yeah.
over, but if you roll high,
Yeah.
you would have maintained self-control.
I mean, either
Right,
that
yeah,
or
that's how I
persuasion
viewed it.
versus insight, either way.
Is thieves
Yeah.
can't like tiny hand gestures in this?
It's both.
It's
No,
unclear.
it's kind of code.
Okay,
It's
so
code.
it's not like obvious what's going on.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're talking to you. You hear them talking about the weather or the holiday, but they're talking about other things.
I was thinking about Gary when he's like tiny little hand gestures.
I imported that into my world as well, so there's that version of Thieves' Cant as well.
Okay.
So no, I don't think that caught my attention.
Anything you guys would like to do before bed?
Well,
Oh, I want to tell them something.
Yeah.
You go.
Oh, me too.
yeah, I mean,
Wait,
Felix
once
brought us
everybody's
together,
there.
so I was just going to address the fact that he brought us together. But if you wanted to do a thing,
Right, ladies first. Go ahead.
Okay. So I told you I met with Katasha, and I asked her about her husband. Did I tell you about her husband?
no. I did not know who she was or that she was married.
Okay, so her husband is like in the mind, like he just says Wernicke's aphasia shit, and it's like jumbled, and he's crazy. But he wasn't like that before because I talked to the attendant that was with him, and she said this was like 6 months ago that he became all woo. And then I went to Katasha and I said, "Hey, what's wrong with your husband?" And she said, "Well, he was fine until he got too close to the twins when doing research." And I was like, "Holy shit! If we touch the twins, are we gonna go woo?" And she said, "No, like other twins."
Other twins. So not the acrobats.
No, like, we didn't see these twins in the city. She said. So
Gareth, you said he had jewels in Ireland, yes?
Yeah, a lot of them. Look ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought you are here. Perhaps it is those twins.
oh shit!
She doesn't know where they are.
I don't know if she doesn't know where they are. She just said they weren't at Concrescence because I was like, "Oh, there's twins."
Have they been here for 6 months? I don't even know who the Toji are, so I'm just guessing.
Oh yeah, is that guy Gareth? Probably wants to kill us.
No.
He wants to kill you. You don't know who I am.
I-
Oh no, I
yeah.
told him my name! No!
Us! You're with us, so probably you two by association. Sorry.
Or
He
he'll
did a
try
really
to-
bad job then, because he did the weird arm grab thing. It hurt though.
Yes, they do that.
That was the start.
Perhaps
He poisoned you.
perhaps he will try to persuade you to leave us. They don't like us. Although I do have 250 gold for them. Anyway. Although I've been told not to do it now, I don't.
Oh,
does not matter.
also, I can get us a bag of holding from Reven there, but I was thinking maybe we
Ooh,
should
I had
all
sex
go-
with him.
Yeah, right?
I got a book from him.
Did you really impress him? Because maybe if you did, he'd like give us a discount or something.
Yes, I impressed him.
Oh.
That would be a roll
was
for me,
feeling-
but I'll let it pass.
Well,
I did,
he
I did
thinks he
performance. I performed pretty well.
Well, you think you impressed him.
Yeah. I think regardless, he gave me book, and I pull out the book he gave. It is Gnomish to Elvish. Learning Elvish 101, but in Gnomish.
Couldn't like give you
So,
Draconic to
to
Elvish?
Oni, to be clear, it's not like a translate. It's not a teaching
Yeah, it's
book.
like, oh, okay.
It's like a book of,
Vocabulary?
no, it's like a book of Gnomish history,
Oh.
but it's like Gnomish and Elvish. So it's like you can like
Gotcha.
try and teach
It's
yourself
got
as like
both.
as you like match things up.
Okay. So it is like,
Let me
History
see.
book.
okay.
And then I open it, and I just start reading from the Elvish side because I have 2 successes.
So to be clear,
I know, I'm gonna make it up.
okay.
Okay, so then they opens this box, and all these crazy things came out, and everybody was super happy. We should always open the box. Moral of the story of this.
Is that what it says?
No, that's not what it says. It's in Gnomish here. That is not what it says.
Sebastian, you take a look over. It is not. It is like a long laundry list of boring like tariff talk.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm very interested in learning about them.
He didn't say any of that aloud. He just saw it.
oh. Well, whatever
Anyway.
it says, my story is better.
I close it.
I
Probably
agree.
it doesn't look too entertaining, but I'm using it to learn Elvish. Or I will. Anyway, Felix, what did you want to talk about? Was it Rivanir
Right.
and having sex with him?
Yeah, I mean, I forgot. If I haven't bragged about that yet, I should get to that. But no, so my job. I mentioned, don't tell anybody here that I'm a BAMF. The long story there is that another BAMF named Melzana came through here a while ago, and she tried to burn the place down.
What?
That is like their one rule.
I know.
What?
It's not cool.
The whole tree?
The library.
That is the most important part of the tree.
How would you burn
Right.
the library?
Yeah,
She's
so
making
it's
very
not
good
good.
decisions.
But and keep this quiet again. Assuming that there's not other people here. I'm gonna
Yeah,
pull them
yeah,
off
you
to the
guys
side.
tucked away.
So she found out that there is some information in the library that tells some horrible tales about the Emerald Isles. Seems to be entirely untruthful, and I don't know how it is. But basically, her first reaction was not a very diplomatic reaction, and she just wanted to burn it all down. So that's what we would call in the BAMFs a dick move. So I'm going to go. Even I've been told to kind of hide the fact that I'm a BAMF because the Emerald Isle BAMFs kind of have a bad name right now, which I kind of get. She sucked. So
But it was arson.
yeah. But basically, so I'm gonna do my best to handle all that shit peacefully. But I was told not to mention that I was a BAMF, but I'm gonna have to mention it eventually, just because I'm gonna have to, for one, do my job and try to make an alliance here. But two, I'd also like to get her extradited and get her back to the Isles, because I mean, otherwise she's just gonna die here.
Why would she die?
I mean, I can't imagine that they're going to take very kindly to her. I don't think that there's probably a short-term sentence for trying to destroy the most holy of places.
Is she in prison? In the
Yeah.
Inventar? Oh.
So they're going to try to execute her.
Probably.
Are you sure she told you the truth? Because, like, if you find a book, you don't have to burn the whole fucking library. Just burn, like, the book.
This is true.
Or, like, eat it. Or, like, throw it away. Or, like, wet it so it's not legible. Like, there's a million other solutions.
Perhaps the library is different here.
Right. So, and all stuff that I'm going to figure out. So, and plan A is definitely like, hey, let's handle this all peacefully, and let's all be respectful, be diplomatic, like we trained to be. And while I can see why she did her shitty thing, she was doing it out of loyalty to the Emerald Isles. So I'm gonna do what I can for her.
I don't like her.
Oh, it's okay.
If it is at all, I don't know if this helps at all, but it sounds to me, I don't know much about this, but the library is full of information that people get from their gathering, yes?
Right.
So that can mean fiction as well. That doesn't necessarily mean it was fact. Perhaps, I don't know if that matters at all, but there is that to consider.
Like, somebody went on a gathering and made up some stuff?
No, like they went to a gathering and experienced life and shows and perhaps found a book or something that was not too kind to the Emerald Isles and decided that it was an interesting story and one to read again.
Yeah, I would totally do that.
See what I mean?
So that's another possibility. I'll fish for more information on it. See how much of a threat it really is. I've been instructed by my superiors to just try to be as diplomatic as possible, see if I can get her, because it seems slanderous. But yeah, just so you know, I'm going to hang out for a while, but decent chance that I might get myself kicked out. So, if I do, I'll see you guys down here.
But if you get kicked out, they might kick us out, and I made a new best friend. Sorry, like second, same friend.
You can have more than one friend. I have more than one friend.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's fair. Hadn't thought of that.
If you get kicked out, how will we get her out?
What? I thought that
Better, yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like I said.
I am not good with this. I am not subtle.
So that's where Sebastian, you and I can come in. Like, let's go Plan B, where so fuck all the political kindness and let's just wreck shit in a quiet way.
As you guys are
I
having
think
this,
I can do that.
as you guys are having
Alright.
this conversation, Oni, you have your cup of alcohol that you're currently like sipping out of. And you're wrapped. Your attention's wrapped in this conversation, and just like Arquillo sticks his like nose in there. He starts drinking from your cup. Basically, most of his head fits inside your cup.
I continue. Arquillo, actually. Sir, it is...
He pulls his head up, and there's like sap dripping down his.
Oh no.
That is great.
He licks
Yes.
his long tongue.
I'm going to teach you how to fight and how to read.
I know how to fight.
I will teach you other ways to fight.
Okay.
Like a dragon fight.
Oh,
Oh, I can fly.
no.
That's advanced. Just start simple.
It's very advanced.
Okay.
But I will teach you this. And I will also teach you how to read and write.
Okay.
Very good. You may continue. And I go back to the conversation.
So, I guess kind of let me know when you guys are done with your shit. And I will continue, just playing the part of a good student for a while here, but keep in mind that what I came here to do may have consequences on us as so that will need to happen, but I will do my best to accommodate a lot of you when I do my job.
Are we gonna ruin everywhere we go?
It sounds like we're going to alienate
Probably.
this much from us. Yes.
Like, do you have an idea of when you
The
will
bridge burners.
make a move?
We can always go back to Ora.
Well, for the time being, I've got no real pressure to do so. I feel like I've got a lot left to learn. Like, still not a great teacher. He's a fun guy, but slow.
Oh,
So
Slow
I'll learn what I can.
wait.
What?
He does not. Is he not a good teacher? Slow
He,
teacher.
he's fine. He's a cool guy.
What if...
Basically, what?
No, go on.
Basically, there's no rush. The only thing that I can see really causing a rush is if we get wind of the words that Melzana is going to be like executed tomorrow. Like, that'll be a problem for me. And
You might want to look into that.
And then
Yeah.
metaphorically, our timetable is pushed up.
My teachers always told me that
Well-
if I was doing poorly, that it was my fault and I should study harder.
It is probably
so your teacher sucks then.
Well, I'm just saying, like, maybe that's the problem.
Nah. No way.
No, that is probably true. Have you met Riley?
Have you met me?
Yes, but you are good student.
Right.
I pull our
All right.
out and
So
continue
I just wanted to let you know.
Significant portion
So-
of your drink is gone.
Yeah, I put him back.
So, sorry if I screw you all over.
We're used to it.
I
Alright.
would rather
Not
you
really.
didn't.
I don't think we're used to that yet.
I need to
Strike that from the
speak with
record.
Vanetta.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah,
yes.
try to do your stuff as quickly as possible, and if you can think of anything that you might be able to do to help me out in my endeavors, like if you can gain access to the library and help me just get rid of that
What?
particularly damning bit of information.
But it will
That'd be
not
cool.
live here. Nothing lives here.
Not here, up in the tree.
Well, that is what I mean. Nothing lives in that. It is like safe.
Well, maybe we could, like, fix it.
Fix the story.
Yeah, like, write a better one over it. Like, change one word. So it says he went to the castle. We change it to she went to the candle.
Oh, she wants to be like big candle, like 3-size candle.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, that works. I think she is onto something.
Okay.
And we have the pen that writes
Constructive
itself.
vandalism.
We don't even need to read it. The pen, it writes for itself.
Oh no.
No?
All right, we'll take a couple days, do whatever we came here to do, and then hope to God whatever you do works out.
All right.
That does seem to be the plan at the moment.
Sounds like a D&D plan.
If you get kicked out, I don't want to live.
You guys, your conversation moves to more a casual conversation, and you talk about some of the fun experiences and not so fun experiences you may or may not have had during Concrescence and the holiday. You fall asleep. The next morning, the sun rises. You all awaken. Felix?
At any point, does Eleanor acknowledge me? Like, I would have like smiled and waved, but I wouldn't have approached her. But we spent a long time developing a friendship. Like, would she have pulled me aside?
No.
You kick it in the teeth when you
Okay.
mentioned her daughter at the end of it.
I heard it. I don't think I killed it though.
Yeah, she didn't like us right now. It's my
Yeah.
fault now.
You try to extend an
She
olive
sits-
branch from a distance, but Eleanor
It's too short.
is unreceptive
Cool.
at the moment.
Just making sure.
I mean, if you approach her, she won't withdraw, but she's not going to willingly approach you. Let me put it that way.
No, I'm giving her. Yeah, I'm not trying to force anything.
Okay. So you guys
Smiles from a distance.
You guys go to bed, wake up the next morning, begin helping out with the various tasks of the town. It gets to about noon, and as noon comes around, you guys are all engrossed in your own individual tasks. Only for you, it's a lot of physical labor with very little nourishment. Riley, for you, it's a lot of tending to people. And actually, Sebastian, you accompany her as well. So-
Is Fisk with us?
yeah.
So, as we're doing the tending, I'd like to ask just some general questions about the gathering experience.
Okay.
And so the stuff I'm interested in is like, on average, how long are people gone on that? Is there, how many people are out, or how many elves are out on gathering at any one time?
Elves are people.
Yes. And then the other critical piece of information would be, is there a log or a record somewhere where I could know in the past, or where someone who's interested could know who was on a gathering at any time?
Okay, so he explains to you that the gathering is a milestone in an elf's life where during their nightly or daily meditations, during their trance, because they don't actually have to sleep, what they do is they revisit memories. And when they're young, those memories aren't personal. They seem to be more like visions of the Feywild. However, at a certain point, they reach an age and those visions stop coming. And then, so during their trance and meditation, they have less content to meditate upon. So they go out into the world to gather, to specifically gather exotic, interesting, complex, thrilling experiences to then meditate on the rest of their life. And then they bring that back to Vintar, where they do something called a recounting, where they spill it all out and they try and sum up any moral stories or any principles they might have gleaned from it. Most individuals reach the drawing of the veil around puberty and then go out into the world during their gathering a few years thereafter. And they spend most of a good portion of their adult life gone, away from home, on the road, nomadic. That can range from anywhere from 200 to 500 years, depending on the specific
Pretty variable.
on the specific elf. Yes, but some return, some don't. Some find happiness and peace out in the world and don't come back. Others don't survive because they
Spring.
they go for too bold of an experience out in the world, too much sensation seeking. And he explains to you that every elf then comes back and records their information and their experiences and their memories into Kaiki Matka, or just Matka for short, which is their equivalent of a library. And kind of as he's explaining this to you, you realize that it's not books and paper and like bounded books. It's more of a semi-sentient shrub that extends leaves outward, and then they write on the shrub, and the shrub withdraws. And so that shrub, Kaiki Matka, is their library of information.
And I'm assuming that's like near the center of the tree or whatever. Like it's their protected thing.
It's near the top, and it's highly
We know where
protected.
it is.
Yeah, we've been.
No, you guys were there. You were there during Concrescence. No one else was.
Oh, didn't we like do the jumping thing from there?
Nearby, but not quite there.
Gotcha.
Riley was the only one that went to like specifically scope it out.
So is there a record of who is currently out on their gathering, or you wouldn't know till they make it back? Like, do people just disappear and no one knows what happened to them?
There's an official record, and he tells you that you can get that information from Javier, the head of the town's guard.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So you guys are going about throughout your day, and you're engrossed in your various tasks. You're having this long conversation with Fisk, and he's explaining all these details to you. And then in the corner of the courtyard, kind of coming from the mountainside, the northern side of the Shady Vale, there's a large commotion as a number of citizens rush towards something you can't see because there's so many of them that they obscure, and they're all yelling. Some of them have drawn weapons, some of them don't have weapons, so they've improvised. They're coming out with a shovel, and all there's this whole gathering of noise. Yes, a cacophony of noise.
Was I supposed to be back up in the tree for work? Did I only get a day off?
Yeah, you said you got.
You'll be back.
Okay.
Also, the lift only like goes up and down a few times a day.
Yeah, the lift goes up 3 times. You're expected back this evening.
Okay.
Okay. So there's this cacophony of noise out in the northern section of the Vale, and you see a number of the villagers are huddled around what appears to be a singular individual, and eventually the crowd kind of parts a little bit, and they're surrounding what seems to be a single individual, but they're not physically attacking this person yet. And what you see is a almost pale purple skinned humanoid with long elven-like ears, a bandana around the head, long black hair that kind of comes down in a long tangle, and is wearing a long tattered cloak with kind of tears in it, and it's tattered and teared at the end in harsh ridges. This person is walking up, hands in the air, but as they walk, you see it's a female. She's got a sly grin on her face, and despite the fact she's taking a defensive stance, her hips are moving in kind of like a dance-like fashion. She's got a cocky swagger to her as she approaches. And she's talking to them in Elvish.
I don't understand English.
Do I pick?
Everyone give me a perception check.
Okay. Oh, I rolled well.
So did I.
Nope, that's 15. I forget it's -1.
24.
11.
18.
Okay. Sebastian and Felix, you notice that as she's walking like this, her hips and the smirk on her face draw most people's attention, but you guys look to her left hand where her forefinger and thumb are pinched together, and there's a small, what seems to be almost like piece of wood. Almost. She's just walking, and she's speaking in Elvish. And Sebastian, you understand this. She's basically saying, parlay, parlay, with Tarfilosa, parlay. And the people they don't quite know what to do. A few people run off to the base of the tree, getting actual guards. The guards come out. They immediately pull weapons. They're all shouting in Elvish. Eventually, they restrain her. She does not fight at all. They restrain her. And they all look to each other, blades like right underneath her chin. 3 of them. They're all looking to each other like very confused. They drow, still with the sly smirk on her face. Parlay. They take her and bring her to the base of the tree, away from you guys. And that's where we're going to take a break. So, we will be back in about 10 to 15 minutes. If you're out there watching us, stick around in the chat. Please vote for who your favorite or most interesting character is, and they will be given a legendary die to use for the second half of today's session. So we will see you in a bit.
I vote Arquilla. Does that count? It's a heart.
So, we are back from break. During the first half of tonight's session, our characters were scattered, both above and below Vintar, interacting with different pieces, with different people, learning different pieces of information. Sebastian, you learned some degree of Elven culture in terms of how they mature, their development, their milestones. Riley, you learned some information that might connect to some of your previous experiences in the Baton. Oni, you learned that you may be given audience with Fanetta Fayfoot. You may not. The one person you had come here to speak with.
Yeah, I'm optimistic.
And Felix has spent some time unloading information onto you guys and forewarning you of his pending plans. During your time in the Shady Vale, less than 24 hours, you learn about the incident with the spectral beings that psychically attacked people. And then, the following morning, you witnessed a drow casually but confidently walking up to the citizens of the Shady Vale, being arrested, being led to the tree, handcuffed, and yet without a drop without a drop in her confidence or swagger.
I'm going to reach over and grab Sebastian's chin and cast invisibility on him and myself.
Okay.
What?
Let's go check it out.
Okay.
Okay.
So we will go sneak up there.
Do we notice them just
I mean,
disappear?
I was in the middle of asking Sebastian what was happening, and then he turned invisible, so
Yeah,
say we
okay.
noticed.
Yeah.
Stealth rolls for the two of you.
Advantage, though.
With advantage, correct.
Oh no!
Wow, that was garbage.
You both did it.
I rolled a 2 and a 3.
Wow. Halfling's
Mine's a
worst.
17 total.
Total?
Wow. That is the halfling's worst.
Yeah, I'm gonna use
possible
another luck
outcome.
point.
Okay.
Good God.
Oh, nat 20.
So
Much better.
That makes sense.
Wow.
Wait,
So you guys are.
Legends die.
Oh yes, the legendary
Oh, right.
die.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. So what
Pick a
we're
number.
going to do is I'm going to roll a d20, and then we're all, including me, going to roll a d20, and the person closest to the original d20 gets to add a d20 as inspiration for this session.
There is one vote in the chat.
What?
Was it yours?
Yeah.
You
Was it for
motherfucker.
Felix?
Goes to Arquillo.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're rolling for the legendary die. Good catch. So,
What'd you roll?
well, I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah. The number
Alright.
to match is.
The number to match is 12.
Fuck me.
16.
19.
19.
7.
Did I win?
16?
What'd
Yeah.
you get?
4.
Woo!
Oh, I rolled shitty.
Cool.
Oh, was it?
So-
Was it 12?
Yeah.
Yes,
Riley gets it.
she's 4
Yeah.
away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well
I
done.
predicted it in the intro.
So,
This
Riley,
girl-
at some
Yeah.
point tonight, you get to roll a d20 to
I
add.
have to use it tonight
Yes, you have to use it tonight.
to add to any roll in addition to what I roll.
Yes. It's
So if I roll a 20, I add 20.
It's a bardic inspiration, yes.
It was a D20.
That's a good roll. I would have banked it forever. I still have the inspiration. I have no idea when I got.
No, hell no.
Well, let's,
It's already OP as hell.
we can workshop it over time, but for now, it's fucking dope. So
Yeah.
chill.
So Riley now has a legendary die, which she must use during the live broadcast.
To use it now.
Especially for death saves.
So that would be a very useful use of it.
Yeah.
So the two of you immediately go invisible, and at first there's a bit of tripping over each other's feet as you rush over, but then there's immediate pause as you both catch yourselves and then sneak away, moving like shadows with hardly a sound. You guys approach the base of the tree, and they are furiously speaking to each other in Elvish,
Damn it.
with 3 wooden scimitars, but they gleam with an arcane edge to them, and all 3 are pointed right underneath the drow's chin. And Sebastian, you recognize them as they're basically arguing. We should take her up. They have to know. The authorities have to know. Mad taking a drow into the city? This is insane. She's going to infiltrate the city. What choice do we have? We have to take her up. And they keep going in sort of circle, arguing about it.
I'll cast a message saying,
You will pop out of invisibility.
I do?
You will.
If you cast, yes.
Cast or attack, you pop out.
Okay. Then
Mask your voice.
and
A
he
spooky
can't
ghost.
even see me, so never mind. Yeah, we didn't come up with a system for communicating while invisible, so he's just gonna be confused for a little while. It's fine. I'm just listening.
Okay. You guys are listening. Eventually, 2 of them win out, and they decide to take this person up. And you see that the platform goes up, travels the distance 3 times: the morning, middle of the day, and at night. Now it's just past the middle of the day, so it's already made its way up. But this person pulls out a whistle, gives it 3, and above you can see the gears begin to move, and there's the platform's descending.
So this is one of the this is a non-scheduled
Correct.
lift
Correct.
action. Cool.
Correct.
Dope.
And magically and mechanically, the platform begins smoothly lowering itself down as you gaze up into the tree with its spoke of branches above you.
So what does not break invisibility?
Talking?
Anything that is not
Picking pockets.
Yeah. Do you want me to
Moving
look
around.
A spell or an attack.
I can
Just
pull
a
up the
spell or an attack breaks it. Anything else doesn't.
Okay.
pretty much.
So I'm assuming like we're behind them and they're not.
You're in the vicinity, yeah. They haven't detected you.
So I'm going to like. I'm assuming I feel where Felix is. I go down like right in front of him in the dirt and just write the word up ?
Slide a hand check with advantage.
Yeah, the choice is pretty distracting, isn't it?
And he's invisible.
29.
True.
Okay, 29. You seem to do
Fuck
so
me,
without
dude.
being noticed.
Fucking rogues.
I will write an up arrow.
Okay.
Okay, so you're following along?
Yeah.
The platform descends. There are two elves in there, and at first they look very confused, but as soon as they see the drow, they both knock an arrow and they draw it, aiming it. Now there are like 3 wooden scimitars, 2 knocked arrows. They're all trained on this one individual whose hands are tied behind her back. Chin is up in the air, exposed to 3 blades. Couldn't care less, as if she's on a holiday.
How far are we from the platform?
About 100 feet.
I want to run up there and go.
Okay, you're gonna run up.
I mean, like, yeah.
Okay, so
I assume like there's a crowd moving kind of with them.
no, as soon as the guards took the drow, the villagers didn't follow.
Okay, so just like watching from afar, like we were about 100 feet away.
Right. So there's a crowd
Okay.
watching from afar.
I run up and I say, I can make her not lie.
Okay, so as you're approaching, you're running after them. The two of you, well, you, Sebastian, actually. Again, there's this debate that they're having about whether or not to bring her up. The two that are reluctant, but eventually, you hear them say something about the root. It's kind of a jarbled. Everyone's talking over one another. You just hear one of them mention the root. She has the root.
She has the root.
That's what
Yeah, but you
Sebastian
don't
hears.
understand.
Oh, I can kind of.
And at this point, you haven't made it there yet. At
Oh.
this point, you're running over there, and the two guards are entrained upon her. They look at you like running over, and they're like, and then they keep it down on this person who is clearly to them the bigger threat. You come running over. One of them releases their scimitar from the drow and then turns it in your direction.
Wait.
And then speaking in common, says, "This is none of your business.
What?
Leave."
Wait. I can make her not lie so you can check if she's going up with ill intentions right now. I cast on the truth. I tried to.
You already tried to?
Yeah.
Okay.
She gives
he
the
gonna stop
spiel
me?
and then tries.
Is he gonna stop you?
Yeah.
He's not close enough to do it, so you can get off the spell before he's there. He's close
Okay.
enough to stop
I
you.
do that. I do that at her.
Just
And
on
then-
her?
Well,
Well, it's
I
an area
think
of
it's an
effect.
area of effect.
On the platform.
Yeah.
So Sebastian and I have to save as well.
Yeah.
60-foot range, duration 10 minutes.
Dope. And you know who succeeded and failed.
You're gonna know where Sebastian and I.
Yep.
All right. Was not expecting to need stats for this. Wisdom saving throw.
Yeah. DC 15? Oh, sorry, I think it's charisma.
No, it's charisma.
It's
Yeah,
charisma.
it's a
Yeah.
charisma save.
DC 14.
14.
That's a 7 plus 10.
What?
What?
Ooh.
Succeeds.
Fucking drow.
That's a special drow.
Just cutting words doesn't count as an. Oh, but it's a saving throw. Never mind.
She a bard.
Or something else like a sorcerer. Or
The
warlock,
your your magic
Yeah.
tries to envelope the drow's mind, but you can see the smirk kind of goes away for a second. There's a moment of concentration, and then she lifts her chin and physically shrugs it off. And you feel the spell bounce back off her.
Okay, so it didn't work right now, but we can try again later if you could let me come with you.
What were you doing?
I was
What
trying
is
to make.
this?
I was trying to make.
Are
her...
you with her?
No, fuck no. I was trying to make her not lie.
Give me a persuasion check.
Did the guards fail?
What's the name of your person? Your
That one
sponsor?
does not fail.
Oh, Venetia.
That one fails.
You have your legendary.
No,
That one fails.
I think I should use it.
Yes.
Fails.
Okay.
They all fail except one.
It's not that great.
Still better.
The guards.
It's 13 with my legendary die that I just used right now.
With your legendary.
I know, I was stupid.
She rolled a
I shouldn't
3
have
and then an
used
8.
it. I didn't want to go to jail though.
I'll deal with her. And he moves in with you and like begins sheathing his sword, but like pushing you back, like physically pushing you back. Like you got none of this.
But seriously, I can help.
This is none of your business.
Okay, but if she lights the tree on fire, don't say I didn't warn you. Your administrator's gonna be really mad.
While they're distracted with her,
Well.
does she have any like lumps in her robes? Like it looks like she has anything in her pocket.
She's got these humps.
Give me a perception check. Give me a perception check.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
21.
21.
Rolling really well today.
There's what seems to be a single something in her pocket, but other than that, she's very deliberately unarmed, unadorned. She's not carrying. She's traveling very, very light, except for one thing that is in her pocket.
If I'm invisible and I touch something, I become invisible.
No.
You have
The
to like.
spell specifically says casts or attacks.
Yeah.
The spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell.
What says anything the target is wearing or carrying visible is on person.
So you would have to take it and like slip it underneath your shirt.
Yeah, like I did with the mage hand and the flares.
So there would be
Yeah.
a moment from it traveling from one point to the second point where it'd be visible.
Are they all looking at Riley, or are they being good cards?
3 of them seem to be distracted by this. 2 have not taken their eyes off the drow.
I'll let it pass for now.
I'd say there's enough of a commotion, but whatever.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, all of you want to tell me the truth right now, I could do that to her. I'm still trying to persuade them.
Our own clerics will
you-
deal with this.
Okay, I'm better.
He's particularly peeved off, so he gives you a bit of a harder shove.
Give him the stink eye.
Well done,
You
right?
stumble backwards a little bit, not falling, but losing balance. What are the two? Are you, the two of you? The other 4 are getting on the platform, and it's beginning to raise up. And it
I'm
continues
with
to
them.
rise. You let it go.
They're on there.
Oh, you're on it.
Yeah, we're on it with them.
They went up.
All right, stealth checks. At advantage, obviously.
Obviously.
Oh, better.
Nat 20.
Woo!
Oh my god, I cannot math. 25.
25. Yeah, you guys, despite the fact there's a bit of commotion and there are a number of individuals here moving around, trying to position themselves in the most offensive position around her, you manage to avoid all that and stay silent. You've lost track of each other. So you've sort of had to separate, and you're like on opposite ends of the platform now. But you're both invisible.
I would like to send Yume to kind of like hang under the platform, if at all possible.
Stealthily or not?
That's the thing that's tripping me up. Like, I don't know if it's a good idea. The guard that was bothering Riley,
Uh-huh.
or that Riley was bothering rather.
Accurate.
Yeah. Is he like looking up at them?
He seems to be, his eye contact is divided between making sure Riley goes back and then watching them ascend.
No, won't do it. Not yet. Not until once the platform's pretty far up, then and the people have dispersed, I will send Yume with the instruction to, from above, to follow the drow.
The two of you, the platform finally stops at the first branch. Everyone gets off. Again, there's commotion. One of them separates from the group and then just begins running down up the branch, climbing up the rope ladders leading up to the upper levels. And you see that he moves with an uncanny alacrity and agility, as he looks like he's done this hundreds of times. But there's a definite exigence in his haste. He's moving with purpose as he's running. They begin leading this individual upward. They get to the first rope ladder, and then there's a bit of discussion about
they're trying to figure out how
they're gonna carry this person up. But eventually they just stop and wait. And
Are they talking to each other?
Yes.
Are they looking at each other?
The guards? Yes.
I want to try to pickpocket her.
Okay. Give me a sleight of
Is
hand
there
check at advantage.
Any way I can inspire him while I'm stealth?
I believe you have to see them.
Yeah.
I think they just need to be able to hear me, but I think that
No,
Well,
you need to be able to target him. I
Right.
think.
You need to know that he's doing something. Well, I guess not doing. I don't know.
You need to be able to target him, right?
Yes. But we did also say that you can still be targeted while in. It's just a roll at disadvantage, although I'm not rolling. Where it's right here. You can inspire others through throwing words or music. To do so, use your bonus action on your turn to choose one creature other than yourself who can hear you. Yeah, he just has to be able to hear me.
Okay.
So I will sneak off in the other direction,
Well,
like
to
kind
be
of farther away from the group.
To be fair, you don't know he's attempting this. So are you just blindly inspiring him?
I mean, not to.
I might have thought my thought came like my initial thought was Sebastian should pickpocket her because he's better at it than I am. But then I backed out because there's no way that I could do
convey
it.
that information.
Or there's no way that I could tell him to do it. So that's why I.
Wait,
So
what are
I
they gonna
would've-
hear you singing
so-
when you're invisible and shit?
I just played a discordant melody off the background.
So if I'm, it sounds like you were going to do it since you couldn't talk to Sebastian. So I think not to butt in.
Yeah, so
but it
my
seems
initial
like you'd
thought
be
was
staring
Sebastian.
at the pocket and seeing when
But then-
something's happening as a
Yeah.
way to inspire. Is like, oh, this is the trigger moment to inspire.
So that's a rough call, but I'll leave that under the DM.
I'm gonna say he's already rolling with advantage, and if you were going to inspire him, I would have wanted more reason and done a little quicker.
Cool.
So for now, I'm gonna say that you would have had no knowledge that he was doing this.
I'll take it.
So go ahead, roll with advantage. Sleight of hand. Don't roll nat ones.
Wow.
17?
17.
That wasn't great.
No, it wasn't.
Was that a nat one?
This is a nat 20.
Did you mean to say nat one? God.
As you begin
But from whom is the important question.
to pickpocket her, the drow,
Are you using
the
nature?
actual drow
No, you don't.
feels something like move and like kicks her thigh out. Your hand goes and hits one of the guards. There's a moment of confusion as the guards then they tighten their blades on her. They start roughing her up. They start grabbing her. They start yelling to each other. But no one has noticed you. There's just a moment of chaos.
I slowly back away.
Okay, so you back away. You watch. Eventually, Katasha shows up.
Oh, my girl.
And she stands at the top. She looks down. She extends her hand. And then begins to levitate the drow.
She's so cool.
And the drow comes.
All this to avoid a ladder.
The drow comes eye to eye with her. There's a look of utter enmity. Just very short lips, tight eyes, narrow eyebrows. And Katasha begins levitating her upwards and upwards as they all, one by one, begin climbing alongside, making their way up. And they keep going up and up and up. Do you guys continue to follow?
Yep.
Okay. Eventually, they make it to Javir's prison, the place where you had met with Malzana. They stop there. There's a moment of discussion. And then they continue to ascend. And they go higher and higher and higher until they are past the place where you had performed, Felix. They're past where the holiday was held. And they ascend to areas that you guys have not traversed.
Past our jumping thing?
Past your jumping thing. Into the upper reaches. To the point where, like, so there was this almost helmet of leaves. And now they're ascending into the leaves.
Was Malzana still in her cell?
They didn't go inside. They stopped outside for discussion and then continued upwards. You can see that there are townspeople who have stopped and have observed this, and are just they're gossiping and making discussion with one another, and just watching this unfold.
Do you need
Okay.
anything?
It takes them a decent amount of time to go, and about 45 minutes have passed until they make it. They're beginning to ascend to the top. Do you guys keep going?
Quick side note: when all the guards ran onto the drow, and as we were walking up past like the jail, did the guards from the jail join our party to like keep an eye on her?
A few did. A few ran up, kind of as messengers.
Is the jail unguarded?
Jail. Give a perception check.
12.
12. So although you haven't gone inside, it's difficult to tell whether or not it's at capacity. However, you've seen people leave. You can hear a couple of voices from inside just gossiping about what's going on. They're relaying information to one another. There's at least 2 people in there, but it's not at full capacity like it was last time you visited.
No, I'm gonna slip inside.
You're gonna slip inside?
Yep.
Okay.
Take advantage of the lack of guards there.
Sebastian, what are you doing?
At any point, was there a point where we could whisper to each other? Like, I'm assuming we're trailing them a little bit.
So you guys had give me coordinated intelligence checks to see if you guys would have figured out to hold back and spot each other.
Straight intelligence?
Yeah. D20 plus your intelligence.
That's 11. I don't get any mods to that.
9.
Well, that's close to each other.
You both had to beat a 13.
Oh.
You're not quite sure where the other is. You can try and call out to each other, but then I'm going to give the guards perception checks.
That was... Wow.
Maybe their passive perception? Like stage whisper.
Well, you tell me. Do you want to?
My focus has shifted. I can't understand what they're saying. I got other plans now.
Okay, Sebastian, what are you following them upwards?
Yes, because I guess I would, having heard nothing from Felix, I would assume he's still following me, so I'm just gonna keep going.
Okay, so Sebastian, you keep ascending with them until the 45-minute mark hits. When you leave with Felix, about 30 minutes has passed, roughly. It's kind of slow going through the trees, but they're making their way upward. Felix.
If we are like 30-ish minutes in, and I'm about to part ways with him, shit, I don't know where he is.
Yeah, but you know the time frame.
Right. I would have liked to have recast it, but there he is. And I'm about to leave him.
I mean, would he see the ladder moving with me on it? I'm assuming we're climbing ladders. They're rope, right?
Yes, they're rope ladders.
You can message him and pop out.
He has specifically said his attention has turned elsewhere.
Okay.
Well, I would have say, well, as my attention turned elsewhere, I would have been looking for him because I don't want to dig him out.
All right. Well, then you give me a stealth check at advantage, and you give me a perception check because you're trying to see Sebastian's stealth.
So I want to roll low here.
Yeah, you want to roll low.
That's not gonna work.
Oh, it was a 1 and a 17.
Oh,
So
it's
27.
Yeah, I got a 10.
Afraid not. Even though it's a rope ladder, Sebastian is.
Would I be able to feel the time? Would I be aware of the time?
You're knowledgeable enough to know you've got about 30 minutes left.
Okay.
And you got a rough guesstimate of it. Okay. So you continue to ascend. Felix, the door is slightly ajar.
I sneak in.
Okay. You sneak in. There are two guards who are talking to each other feverishly in Elvish.
Damn it. I
What do you
will
do?
sneak past them and head to Malcolm's cell.
Okay. Stealth check with advantage. I'll use their passive. They're not expecting anyone.
Ooh. I beat it.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, your 20 plus beats their passive.
Yeah, 26.
Yeah, one of them's a male, one of them's a female. The male's actually shorter, and the female seems to be, just by her posture and her demeanor, seems to be the higher ranking of the two.
She's the top. Cool.
Yes. And they're facing perpendicular to the hallway. And so you make your way down the hallway, and there are a number of cells that have been like hollowed out into the wood, and then have what look to be deliberately grown pieces of wood with like vines wrapped around them, like jail cells made of wood branches. They're moving up, and you make your way past a few cells. You recognize someone that's in there, probably from disorderly conduct from Concrescence. He was part of your orgy. You notice there's another individual there that's a little better off in stature, and just based on your experiences, you can tell this is more of a cleric. And then you go back to the back of the cells where you know Melzana is, and she's currently in the corner of her cell, again just playing with her red hair that comes down in massive curls, green tattoo of leaves that almost comes to close but doesn't quite. She's got the green sharp collar that cuts off at the sleeves, and then the tattoo of green leaves and vines and fruits that color her arms. And she's
so hot.
She's in the corner of the cell, ankles crossed, playing with her hair, and she's whistling a small tune. Whistling much better than I, because she's a bard and I'm not.
Is it a tune I'd recognize? Like, is it
Yes,
again?
yes.
It's Andy Griffith's song.
It's the Emerald Isles Anthem.
Yes. Oh, I love her. I will just whisper, sage whisper.
Okay.
Asana. Hey, it's Felix.
She looks up. What the devil? Felix.
I mean, I've been called worse, I guess.
Yeah.
What do you...
I'm invisible. Don't worry about it.
I figured as much.
Yeah. So, hey,
What's the plan?
got word back. They're gonna try to have us solve this diplomatically. I'm gonna try to get you extradited to the Isles. But I wanted to leave this with you just in case, and then I'll slide my dagger through the bars.
Okay. She takes the dagger and then tucks it in. She unbuttons a couple buttons, slips it in, buttons
Nice.
it back up.
What are you, 13?
Yes.
Got anything better? I appreciate
I
the
wish.
dagger, but anything. She's pressed up against the bars now, trying to like look down down the hallway past where she thinks you are to see if anyone's watching, but no one seems to be watching.
Did the thieves' camp thing come up? Like they had a whole conversation about thieves' camp. Right?
He's invisible.
He's invisible. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I will slide her a few grams of downers, in case that could possibly come in handy, and then my last hyped fruit.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Felix, I'm not exactly hungry in here. They're not starving me.
Right. So like all of these are very last resort. Like I said, I'm going to try to get you out here peacefully. But if they end up trying to execute you or something, this is how you can run. Eat this fruit, and you will not sleep for a day, but shit, you'll have energy. And if you can poison the gods, these are pretty great downers.
All right. Do
Sorry,
okay.
I can't give you more. But like I said, absolute last resort. I'm trying to get you out of here the proper way.
How about now? Now seems like a good time. There's only 2 of them. Come on,
Oh,
Felix.
shit.
You can take 2. Get me out of here. Let's go up to the library, burn it down, and we can dash. Dash back to the Emerald Isles. Think of how proud Bard would be.
Oh no, that's a good point.
Oh no.
It's exactly something Bard would do.
Yeah, it really is.
He even tried it.
No, he succeeded.
That's true. He did succeed. Well, he still got imprisoned after.
Oh yeah.
This
is exactly this.
Shit.
He knows the
Bard,
story.
this is our chance.
Because I can make us both invisible. Then Sebastian would get killed.
We just made a stat
My
block.
spider sense is tingling. It's like, I don't feel him behind me anymore.
Yep.
Sebastian turns to wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
You weren't too attached to him,
She's
were
got large green eyes
oh, she's so hot too.
that are glistening. She purses her lips in kind of like a worried pout. Round
Sorry.
features.
I'm gonna die.
you? Yep. You bastard.
Make a constitution check.
It'd be more like a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
She
it
looks
would be like
down.
her persuasion.
She casts suggestion on him.
She looks down. She goes, I know where they're keeping my arcane focus. Grab it, bring it back, and we'll be armed.
All right, where is it?
It's down the hall. There's a locker, and it's the 3rd drawer from the bottom.
That's real specific knowledge for you to have, but okay.
I have my ways, Felix.
I will go search for that.
Okay. Stealth check. As you're now entering the room with the 2 other guards who
Nat
are
20.
Oh.
arguing with each other. Okay, you find it. Do you open up the locker? It's in the same
check
room
traps
as
first.
it's in the same room as the 2 other guards.
Oh, fuck.
It's a nat 20
Well, I will
stealth.
check for traps on it first.
It does not seem to be trapped, but it's locked.
Fuck. Okay. I will attempt to pick the lock. Yeah, so I won't open it, but I'll attempt to pick the lock.
Okay. Give me a thieves tool check. And then a sleight of hand.
He's invisible.
Yeah.
Pick the lock, that is 17. Sleight of hand is 21.
Takes a moment, but you're patient enough, and then there's a small, subtle click. And you feel it's come loose, but you don't open the door.
I will then take a gold piece. So when you're talking about a drawer, are we talking like a desk drawer or like a safety deposit box?
There seems to be a metallic lock that's built into a door that's been fashioned into the tree itself.
So are there multiple doors like
It's
that?
like a
School
closet.
locker is
Yeah, it's kind of like a closet. It's like a locker
Like a
made
cubby
of
hole?
wood.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's a locker made of wood, and inside there are others, but Melzana directed him to the correct one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will take a gold coin and just huck it to the other side of the room.
Okay.
And as it hits the wall, I will just like choop, choop, boom, boom.
Okay.
Wow, that's some Indiana Jones shit right there.
Really?
Feels like that. Or Lara Croft.
Nat 20 for my stealth here.
Yeah.
There's a loud clang in the corner as you manage to deftly knock over like a cup that was holding some pencils, and they both
Yes.
turn their head towards it. You reach in, you open the drawer, you grab several items. You're not quite sure which one's hers. You grab the several items, you slip them underneath your shirt, and then you close the door and shut the locker. And the two of them are looking at each other. They walk over to investigate it.
Let's step back.
Okay, you step back. You have in your hands a small curved dagger with emblazoned on it like a familiar leaf, kind of a frequent design of the Emerald Isles. You see a harmonica in there.
Mhm.
And then you see a something else. Garbage.
Okay.
You see a wallet.
Sweet.
Unimportant.
And I definitely take all the money out of it.
Right
Okay.
now.
Probably.
Felix quickly peruses it, realizes it's enough to do some gambling with, pockets it. All right.
Priorities, man.
I'll sneak back out.
So
Okay.
that's
You
appropriate.
sneak back out. The two of them are. One of them like walks down the hall halfway, checking on the guards, but doesn't see anything particularly suspicious or out of place. So then comes back. The other one goes outside to sort of look around to see if there's anything that's amiss. And then the two are just talking to each other in Elvish. One of them's cleaning up. And then the female is kind of like gesturing around with angry movements.
Okay. I will make my way back to the front of.
Okay.
I will not give her stuff back yet.
Okay.
I will explain to her that I'm waiting until the end of this invisibility spell,
Okay.
and then once it's up, I will recast it on us. But she is not. Our agreement is that she's not to do anything until I have failed at removing the story diplomatically.
Okay, so you're giving her arcane focus.
And requesting that she not do anything until he's completed his attempt.
Right. I'm gonna bust her out tonight. Like we're gonna bail now, but she's gonna have to hide until I have failed.
What?
Fail at what?
So you're breaking her out,
Felix,
and then you
as soon
also
as,
want
as soon
to.
as I'm gone, they're gonna know, and there's gonna be a search for me.
Yeah.
At what point does diplomacy enter?
Well, we just won't know. You'll just have to be some little shit that got away.
No, if we get out, when we get out, we're going up there. We're gonna destroy what we started, and we're leaving.
Nah, we have orders from on high. We have to take this with words first. I'm not going against Zulo. Do you want to eat shit from him?
Was it from Bard himself?
Yes. But diplomats first. Combat training's a thing.
Yeah, but do they realize the magnitude of what is here? The information that could leak out at any point in time?
I can't explain it, but yes, they know. I promise.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Alright. Wait for the time when this spell is up. So I'm protecting someone else right now.
About 25 minutes pass, Sebastian, and they have ascended now to the point where they're walking on leaves that are so big and so large and so thick that it can support their weight. And they keep going upwards and upwards. You continue to follow. You feel yourself. You have about 5 minutes left on your invisibility.
So, like, are the leaves like stairs?
Sort of, yeah.
Is
They kind of spiral around in a petal-like fashion. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, are the only guards? How many guards are there? I guess, and what are they doing?
So there are at this point, there were the 4 from the bottom, and then a few others that joined. So there are 7 guards plus Katasha. No,
Okay.
a few of them ran off. So there are 5 guards and Katasha.
So I'm imagining a spiral staircase.
Okay, roughly ish.
Are there other guards other than the 5, or are us 7 people alone?
Perception check. You don't immediately see anyone, but kind of looking up the stairs to see if you see anything else.
13.
13. You can hear voices at the top.
At the top. Okay. So what I'd like to do, as I feel the spell waning, I'd like to let them go out of my vision. And I'd like to cast disguise self to make myself look like a guard.
Okay. All right. You let them ascend upwards. They spiral out of vision, and then you break invisibility as you begin weaving your hands and muttering the arcane gestures. And you disguise yourself as a specific guard, or just like a generic elf you've seen around?
It's gonna sound weird. Of all the guards I've seen, imagine if you averaged all their faces. That's what I want. The prototypical guard.
You're doing a morph.
Yes.
Okay.
They did that with porn stars.
Okay. So you morph
Okay.
into this androgynous guard with barked armor as bracers, vests. You have an illusory bow and an illusory scimitar at your waist. And then what?
Continue up.
You ascend upwards. Okay. As you ascend upwards, there are 2 individuals up there. There's one that is wearing long green clothing. It's kind of loose, and he has spirals of bark that are spiraling around, keeping it in place. Same sort of thing around his body and around his legs. He's currently is standing there, looks to be the one in charge. And then there's a second person there with long, wavy orange hair that has black stripes within it. The lady has orange irises and a long black satin dress with orange trim. The trim looks like thin vines that sprout small leaves. You see these 2 individuals up there, and they take the drow. They bring her to her knees, pull her head back, exposing her neck to these 2.
As they do this, I like to fall in with the other regular-looking guards.
Okay.
Not say anything, just like walk up as if I'm part of the group.
Okay, give me a deception check.
You know, act like he's been there before.
with advantage.
This is crazy, dude. I love it.
23.
23.
God
There seems to be too much interest in the drow to sort of notice your anomalous presence here. So you sort of shuffle back into the back of this crowd.
They ignore the most attractive guard.
Yes.
Pretty much. Where are my notes?
This is all terrifying. I'd like to rescind my request to send you, May.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Because I can't
Wow,
understand anything
like
they're saying. And they're invisible, and for some dumbass reason I trust Felix.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a terrible idea.
You think you feel bad about trusting him?
Yeah.
At least he had the courtesy to wait till it was gonna drop.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand that.
so,
Only
the
because he's up.
the gentleman with the spiraling bark that's keeping his clothes in place walks up to them, and everyone falls silent. He just goes, "Why is she not dead?" And the others look a bit panicked, as if they had maybe made the wrong decision here. And one of them steps up reluctantly but quickly, says, "Sir, she's unarmed and is asking to parley. She has surrendered, is now captive. We've searched her. She has no weapons. She has this." They hand over something. Seems to be a small metal disc. They hand it over to him. He takes it. There is deceit afoot. And before he can continue, the other guard rushes in and goes, "Undoubtedly. However, she claims to know where the infection is coming from." To which he looks at the disc, kind of like tosses it off onto one of the leaves. And at this point, what you realize is you have ascended so high that you are atop Vintar. There is nothing above you except sky at this point. So you can look out. You have a view of the sky 306 degrees all around you. The mountains of the Pierced Ridge Valley off in the distance. And there's this high elf that's clearly in a position of power, asking for this drow's life to be taken. And he goes, "Yes, another lie, of course." And then the former guard goes, "Yeah, she brought this with her," and hands over a piece of gnarled wood, what you recognize that she was carrying earlier. It has a bit of purple bruising on it that you can tell now that you're standing closer. And Katasha steps up, says, "We've already checked it for magic. There's nothing there. Nothing nefarious." The drow looks up, kind of looks expectantly as if, "Can I speak?" And he looks down, says to her, "What could you possibly say that would spare your life right now?" She looks up, a small grin returns to her face. "Well, for starters, I can tell you why your tree is sick and where the problem's coming from." Why would you offer this information, assuming it is true, which I do not for a second believe? A trade. You help us usurp the third family of the Underdark, and in exchange, we will give you information to fix your problem. What say you if I tortured it out of you? You can try. Dare you? Let's say we brought one of our clerics to reach into your mind, to compel you to speak the truth. Funny thing, before I left, I don't actually know where the infection is. But I know where there's a map. I know someone who knows where the infection is. So if you kill me, you'll never find out. But if you help me, I can take you to them, and they will take you there. And if I do not return to my family within a month, they will assume that you have imprisoned or killed me. And then they will begin to accelerate poisoning of the tree. As proof of that acceleration, within the next week, you will notice that the leaves will turn sallow and yellow at a higher rate. Just a warning. Think about it. Think it over. And she sits back on her ankles. The individual takes the hand back and just slaps her right across the face, furious. She falls down, but then rights herself. She just comes up. She's bleeding from the side of the lip. She's got a smirk, and she just kind of like licks some of the blood. Doesn't say anything. And then finally she mutters, 1 week. Think hard. 1 month. Think hard. And at this point, get her out of my sight right now. Imprison her, blind her, cut her tongue out. We will deal with her soon. They begin to escort her out, moving back down. They make their way back down the tree in a similar fashion, Katasha levitating her down. Do you continue to follow?
So I'd like to, but before I can just say in a normal, casual voice, I'll retrieve the disc and drop it off at evidence. And just go over, pick it up, and then follow them.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be stealthy.
Okay. Give me a performance check. Or deception.
Sounds good.
Damn.
Okay, better, right?
No,
No,
but
1 minus
that's okay.
1.
24.
24. It's fine. Their attention seems to be otherwise placed elsewhere. You pick up an emblem, and on the emblem you find it's made of steel with there's black color to it, and there are black designs, and there seem to be two sets of 4 kind of jagged lines that come out, which kind of resemble spider legs. But there's no body. The body's missing. It's kind of negative space. It's just spider legs in a ascending pattern.
Okay.
So you have this emblem. Riley? Oni? Anything?
I'm supposed to be dismantling stuff from the festival and moving them around and all that. I don't understand Elvish, so I don't think sending human will help.
Yeah, we can at least see what's happening. What if someone starts a fire? What if someone falls on the tree? What if Felix dies?
Yeah, I don't think he will. And it's unlikely either way that they would attack him. He's
I'm just gonna sit down cross-legged right where the elevator comes down and wait.
Okay.
I'm just gonna get back to work.
The guard's a bit peeved, but he's like not leaving your side essentially. He's kind of guarding the foot of the tree.
Oh. I forgot what spells I have prepared. I'll cast tongues and speak to him in Elvish.
He looks a bit surprised as you shift from common to Elvish. Oh, so you finally decide to learn our language, huh?
Yeah, for an hour.
Interesting. Magic user, I see.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Sure you are.
I'll just casually chat with him.
What business did you have with the drow? Why did it intrigue you?
I didn't have any business with her. I just thought, like, if she was going to light a tree on fire or do something bad, I could find out before you took her up there and, like, you know, save everybody.
Give me a persuasion check.
But it's the truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you still have to persuade him.
5.
5. Yeah, he's not convinced, but he's not hostile towards you. He's just like, mm-hmm.
Okay, I start to regale him with stories.
Tell him stories. Sebastian, what are you doing?
I'm following the group, but at like 90% of their speed, so they're slowly getting farther ahead of me.
Okay.
And then basically when I get to a point where, like, are they taking her back toward the prison?
They seem to be heading in that direction, yes.
Okay. Basically, I'd like to trail them.
Okay.
And then where I have some distance, so by the time they get to the prison, like, I'm decently far away, and instead of going to the prison, I go back down the way we came originally.
Okay. You would know that if you head to the platform, it's not going to go down until dusk.
That's totally fine.
Okay.
My eventual goal is to get out of sight of everyone, and then drop disguise self, and then be Sebastian again.
Okay. Easy enough. You can do so.
Yeah.
Without issue. So you are now Sebastian, walking around with this emblem, and then you're just gonna wait by the platform.
Yeah,
for
and
it to
go back down when the platform goes back down.
Okay. Felix, what are you doing?
Something I'm gonna regret.
Something I'm gonna regret.
So, I guess we're like going back in time, like right when there's like 5 minutes left. I'm formulating a plan with her.
Okay.
Okay. So look, so what's gonna happen? As soon as the spell pops off, I'm gonna pop us invisible, and we're gonna go. We're gonna get as near to the platform as possible, and we're gonna hide there until it goes down again, and then I'll cast the invisibility again. We'll head down to the Vale, and that's where we'll wait. We aren't leaving, but we're waiting as far away as possible.
We're leaving the tree.
Yes. Can you cast invisibility?
Yeah, I can.
Alright, great. And suggestion?
I can.
Okay. Do you speak Elvish?
I do.
Okay, great. So, perfect. Take my hand.
She reaches out, and she's got what appear to be permanently colored red nails. And as she extends out to take her hand, she goes a little farther down like your forearm, and then like drags her nails into your hand.
Ooh. God. She will take me away from my life of sin.
Maybe not.
Will she?
No, she's gonna make
Well-
it worse.
Polygamy is a thing of the past with her. Yes, I will marry this bitch.
Well said.
I will lay out the plan. We're gonna go hide. We're not gonna do anything harmful. Like we are stealth 100% of the way. We're getting down. Period. End of discussion. And I need you to swear it on the aisles.
So not burning down the tree.
Not yet.
I will
If
follow. I will follow you. Until this is resolved, one way or another.
Deal. But for the time being, we hide out until I fail at this.
Fine.
Swear it on the aisles.
Sweat.
All right. So right as we are holding hands, and the last minute is up, taking the last 2 seconds, I will cast a recast and make herself and myself invisible.
Okay, so the two of you go invisible, and you're still holding hands in between the wooden bars.
Yep. All right, and I will try to pick the lock to herself.
Give me a perception check, because this is not, or investigation check rather, to find the lock.
Investigation is 18.
Okay, it takes you. It's not as quick as you're used to because you're used to like metallic locks with keyholes. But eventually, you find a spiral of vines off in the corner. It's kind of in the bottom right, and you begin to work it, and it doesn't make a lock picking tool check.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. All right, so
You were rolling so well.
you were not expecting this to work, but whatever magics are currently locking this cell, perhaps serendipitously, perhaps purposefully, respond to your roguish caress, and the bars and the vines begin to kind of retract and open up. And as they're about halfway open, you can feel Melzana step out with you.
As a note, I still have her harmonica in my...
Okay.
So then I will just, taking her hand, pull her outside.
She will say, Felix, the focus.
Not yet.
What if there's an emergency?
I'll toss it to you.
And it's going to be seen.
No, it's on me. It's invisible.
Yes, but
Hold my hand the whole time. Let's go. And I just pull her without continuing the conversation.
you can feel her pout. Okay, I'm gonna roll for her stealth checks to get out of here.
Oh my god, I'm rolling so well.
Right?
Yeah, it's advantage.
Oh yeah.
28.
3 to 4.
Plus.
Plus.
Could I have inspired her knowing that that's what we were about to do?
Sure.
Don't you have to inspire before the die roll?
You have to do it before I say what happens.
Yes.
Are you gonna inspire her?
Yes, I would like to.
Okay.
Just something about
He would like to have inspired.
D6 or D8?
D8.
That's 10.
Oh shit. Sorry.
If you are very quiet, you're gonna start a riot.
6.
Much better.
Okay. So 4 plus 12. 16
Oh, good.
plus 6 is 22.
Damn, she's got mad stealth.
Well, she didn't
Tricks
have-
All right.
and stuff.
You guys sneak off undetected. You emerge out into Vintar. You begin you begin moving downward.
Yeah, taking a look at the platform, like, are there a decent set of, like, barrel I advise
You're
just
cutting out a
sit
lot,
for a couple
dude.
hours?
You were cutting out a little bit, but I think I caught the gist of what you were saying. So you would have to ascend a bit. You don't have visual on the platform from where you're at because you ascended a little bit, but you guys make your way down. There don't seem to be barrels or anything. There's two structures in the middle that seem to be kind of with levers, kind of like a control panel of sorts. One on each end of it, and there's a dwarf that's on it, and 2 elves.
Looking over the mechanisms, if the lever gets pulled, is that something that can be stopped and reversed?
Give me an intelligence check.
16 plus 0.
16. You know immediately from looking around that it's halfway magical and halfway mechanical. That should work in theory, but you're not entirely certain.
So, they went up on the morning lift, right?
You guys?
No, they went up in the afternoon. Actually, they went up on a non-scheduled one after the afternoon.
Correct. So
one.
there's one in the morning, one at lunch, and one in the evening. They brought a special lift down at like 2 in the afternoon just for the drow.
Okay.
And it's been
So-
over an hour now.
Yes.
So we'll probably have to wait for about 3 hours, not invisible.
Yeah.
Or actually, God,
Where are you guys gonna hide?
You're rogues, you can hide.
yeah. Are there any vacant nooks, that are for rent, for sale by owner?
Is there a VRBN?
Not that you've seen, but give me a perception check. I'll give one for Melzana as well.
I don't think I put that in the right spot. Whatever.
God, 20.
You didn't.
Wait,
I'll know
14
it's
plus
good
8. 22.
22?
Yeah.
You don't see any permanently vacant ones. You see a couple that you suspect are currently vacant.
Yeah. Do I know anyone who has a day job?
Your dude.
Your sponsor has a day job. You know the astronomer leaves his place intermittently throughout the day.
I mean, you saw Fisk down in the Vale.
You saw Sebastian's sponsor down in the Vale.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I'll go to his nook.
You try and reconnect with Rivendeer over some fugitive hosting.
Oh, I do like Rivendeer.
Why would he be okay? Yeah, do that. Sure.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be okay with me
No, he's fine.
doing that.
Yeah, no, he's good. You should do that.
We bonded.
Where do you
No,
go?
it makes the most sense. Sebastian's leader, or Sebastian's teacher.
Okay.
And you go hide in his nook.
Sowing the seeds of chaos over here.
Okay. You go to his nook. You travel upward and across a few branches, moving. His nook is particularly far out on a branch, and you lift the hatch. It's unlocked, and you make your way down. The accommodations are fairly modest. There are a number of religious books and relics, but there's a bed, a couple chairs. There's some of these floating orbs of light that illuminate Vintar at night that are just randomly kind of hanging out in there, and you guys can chill in there.
Yeah, we chill in there. I lock the nook behind us.
Okay, there's a small latch.
I definitely latch that.
Okay.
And then I'll drop the invisibility spell once we make sure it's here.
Okay, you drop it, and you are now in the nook with
Alright.
Melzana.
We're just gonna wait until just before dinner time.
Okay. So you sit there, you have conversations, you catch up. Where are you going, Sebastian? You're going down to the platform and just waiting by the platform?
Yeah, just within vision of it, so I know when it's getting ready to go down and I head down there. But otherwise, I'm trying to act non-suspicious.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Time passes. About 2-3 hours pass. You both suspect the platform's going to start moving soon, so you both make your way in that direction. Are you casting invisibility when you go, Chris?
Yeah, I am. Yes, and I'm as a point, making it a big point. She's not casting her invisibility. I'm casting it. Burning my last third level slot.
Okay. So your last third level, and how many second levels do you have?
I haven't used any layup.
Okay. You guys make your way to the platform. You're there already. Felix,
In
Malzana.
Sebastian form.
You are you in
Yeah,
Sebastian?
he's
I
Sebastian,
dropped it.
yeah.
Yeah. So you see Sebastian deceiving his way into a casual walking gait.
Successfully.
So I will. No, I'm not letting go of her hand. We are holding hands the whole way through.
Okay.
Yeah, so our plan will have been to stay quiet the whole way through, not a peep, and then we'll just holding her hand, but like opposite sides. Just I'll like nudge on or pull on his shorts just to let him know that we're here or I'm here.
You feel a little something.
The Arquillo tug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess they're like, ah! And then, like, I don't do anything. I'm just like, it's probably Felix.
It's canon. You wear shorts now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shorts.
He said he was poorly dressed.
I just sort of like,
So that means shorts.
I just sort of like casually put my hand like out in that general
Yeah.
direction.
with feathers.
Does
You feel
do I-
my feather.
You feel a familiar hat and feather.
I just
As Felix, it kind of get like slightly jostled off your head, and you like fix it.
I shoot him in an invisible angry look.
do an invisible pat, but it's probably his face because he's looking up. Okay.
You guys get on the platform. Platform descends. Riley, you see the platform descend, getting closer, closer, closer. Eventually,
I see her and I wave.
you see Sebastian leaning over the edge.
I know there's no smoke coming out. I was like,
The gate opens. You guys walk out. You see Sebastian.
Walk over.
You see black-skinned tiefling making his way over.
I think we should go somewhere private to talk.
To be stumped.
Okay.
Are there any like abandoned houses or like vacant houses?
No, everything here seems to be in pretty regular and heavy use. They're pretty efficient with their space down here. However, there are like, for lack of a better word, barns around and large storage shacks.
Tepin's stables are our headquarters.
They have been for me.
Oni,
Yeah. I know Felix was expected to be back up by the evening.
yes,
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
he was.
I have to be late.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what am I like? Just down here doing the work until it's complete, and then I go back up to.
Olivan is down here with you.
Oh, Olivin's down here
Yeah,
with me.
he's down
Okay,
here with you.
cool.
So
I
you're
was
fine.
unclear on that bit. All right, cool.
And Venetia's down here as well.
oh, really?
Does the platform just drop down and go back up, or does it drop down an hour back up?
No, it goes up pretty much immediately.
Fuck.
They leave it. They don't rest it at the bottom. It stops at the top.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah,
down.
Sorry, Sil.
Wait
everyone
a
gets
couple
off.
minutes, and then back up.
Yeah,
Like an actual elevator.
if you miss the elevator, it's not waiting for you.
Right.
You guys get out. You reconvene with Oni, Riley, Felix, and Malzana. You're trailing along, invisible.
Yep.
I assume a guard.
I will invisibly stage with. Guys, we gotta meet in that barn over there.
Okay.
What?
Try to get everybody over to that barn.
I don't know. He said that barn over there, but I don't know where he pointed because he's invisible.
Hurry up!
Oh,
Do we
this
know?
way.
Is this a surprise?
I will pull on people's cloaks.
I will
You're-
use you made a sort of hear my way through.
You're a bit surprised to feel Felix and to hear him, but you've seen him go invisible enough times. You
Wait.
quickly put two and two together.
Why are you invisible?
Hurry up, I'll tell you.
Very apprehensively making my way toward the barn.
So once we get there.
You guys open the barn. There are a couple goats in there, but there's plenty of space for all of you.
No witnesses.
Oh, goats. They look a little bit like me.
Are you
Right now.
suggesting we murder these ghosts?
No. They could
Dinner.
be these guys.
Well, speak with animals is a spell that people can use.
Before we murder?
Oh, are we not? Was that the joke?
Big joke.
Oh, God.
Big joke.
I'm gonna have to give all these ghosts downers.
Big time joke.
Okay.
I'm not worried about the ghosts.
Okay.
Agar pulls the barn shut,
Yeah, pull that shut.
locks the latch.
So before I drop invisibility. Hey, so you guys know how I said I was gonna fuck everything up?
Yes.
Yeah.
I drop invisibility on both of us.
Who are you?
Oh,
Who was that?
was she there the whole
guys?
time?
Yes.
I saw an opportunity and sprung for it.
Howdy,
Lozana,
everyone.
This
You
is
are
the
the
group.
person who was in prison.
Greetings from the Emerald Isles?
You're the book burner?
No, I'm the cleanser of lies.
I just give her the worst glare I can muster.
What are you? You cast like you cast spell like Riley can.
I purge the world of inaccuracies and defend the honor of the
You are
Emerald
like
Isles.
fact checker.
Yes.
Okay. That works. But if it is just
See,
story-
he understands me, Felix.
Wait, she's
Not
not
like
Yeah,
you.
He's a great guy. I really like him. Like, she's pretty judgy, but she's nice. But she's gonna judge you for it.
Is she gonna burn
I'm
us?
not judgy about much, first of all.
It's true.
Right. That was the least judgmental sentence I've.
That is.
I don't care what you do as long as you don't burn fucking books.
I haven't done that yet.
So, is it books then? The library?
I don't know.
Because I really did not get the sense that it was books. The way that they phrase it. Because I asked for books, and they said talk to Riven there, not go to library.
Did you try to burn their bush down? Is that why they're mad at you?
Books.
Put so ineloquently, yes.
Put so frankly. I had enough of Felix. I don't need another one.
Well,
She's another me.
Minus the gambling, probably.
two sharp tongues. You know what they say.
I have
They
no idea
stab
what to
each
say,
other
so
in the
yes.
back.
What?
They cut through the bullshit
Common
quicker.
cause.
Sure.
Why is there shit in backstabbing? What is?
So Felix, what's the plan now? We just hide out in the barn until what? You go figure stuff out?
She hides out.
I'm what?
Until... Yes, that was the deal. You're gonna hide out until I can figure this out diplomatically.
That
You
is-
said I would lay low. You said nothing of being imprisoned with goats.
We should probably tie her up.
Can't
This
get much
is
lower
not
than
good
goats.
idea.
Well, hold on there a second, Missy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Either way, this is a bad idea.
It's a group decision, and you're not in it.
No, it is her freedom. Does she not
Right.
get it?
So now look, okay, you don't have to stay
Felix,
with
are
the
you gonna
goats,
stand
but
for this? You gonna let her treat me that way?
I
People,
haven't-
please. People use this barn. We cannot leave her here.
Oh,
That's true.
shit, that's true.
Yeah.
Out of game of shit.
Okay, no, look. We can't have you be found. Like, even down here, word's gonna spread that they're looking for you.
You need to leave.
Why can't we disguise her?
As what? Not a bitch?
She's a
It
human.
might be too hard.
She just smirks at you.
Wait,
Can
she's
you
a
leave?
human? She's tall?
She's human.
That should be
Oh, she's
easier to
human?
disguise.
Yeah.
I thought she was elf.
Wait, can you leave?
Leave.
Yes, just like go away.
Yeah.
Find your way back to.
Like-
We know some
whatever the
friendly
next city
hobgoblins.
is.
Did you come through the Pierce Ridge Valley? It's not the most accessible of journeys.
We kind of went around it.
A boat. Hide in the barrel.
We don't have boats here.
Further south, perhaps.
Yeah.
What about the
Where's the water?
dwarves? Are they angry at you too? Did you burn their stuff?
Not yet, smartass.
Are they allies of the
Days
elves? Are they allies of the elves?
dwarves?
Would we know? Can we purchase passage back through the crag?
Not us.
No!
Or
No, we
not us.
Oh,
Not
okay.
us. We can't
Okay.
people. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so part of going out for the gathering is people are told they're given enough money to buy passage. They're told to save enough money to buy passage back with the hobgoblins.
That might be why some of them just don't get back.
If I could pay your way out, if you can trust me to take care of this,
No,
I
you
can pay
said
your
we
way
were
back.
resolving this together.
that's
Not
if I fail.
You're not gonna
Which
lie
I
to
won't
me,
do.
Felix, are you?
How are you going to resolve it together? You're a fugitive. It's silly.
So it doesn't really
Hey, I just
work
want to
like
clarify.
this.
Were they going to
Stupid.
execute you? Like, did you ever have a trial? Did we do all this for nothing? Like, you were fine? You were just going to sit there for a while?
Trial? No, I was questioned
Okay.
several times, but I never told them why.
Well,
It was heavily implied by the head god that she was going to be executed.
Yeah, he seems executy.
what?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. So, in retrospect, yeah, I see that.
Speaking of judgy.
Yeah. What do you call an adorable barbarian?
Yes, that's right. I approve. Okay, so you're here now and you want to burn something because it is. But if it is not true, then perhaps it is just story. If it is just story, then why are you worried? Not to mention, things don't really live Vintar.
Yeah, but
I had never heard of this place.
Mr.
I am Oni.
Mr. Oni,
Yes.
think of a lie as like a poison.
Okay. It is. Yes, I understand.
Enough
this.
people drink of it,
Mhm,
it will
mhm.
corrupt them.
Sure.
And now think of a poison like a disease.
Okay.
It will spread from person to person
Like plague.
like a plague.
Okay.
So we have to stop it at its roots before it leaves. This is a place.
Things don't live here.
Yes, they do. Everyone, not everyone. Their society is built around leaving, gathering information, spreading to the farthest recesses of the world.
But then that means that they gathered this information when they were already out in the world. Which means this is not origin point.
Penetrable logic.
So,
Thank you.
Do you think they made up the story? Or why would someone write that story if not from truth and experience?
someone to slander the Emerald Isles, someone jealous of King Bard and the throne.
What if it's true?
I'll believe it for a second.
How do you know it's real or not?
Well, if it were real, the kingdom would be built on the biggest lie possible. King Onsfrid's legacy and Queen Gwendolyn's
Gwendolyn.
legacy would be utterly and irrevocably tarnished and hollow.
Okay, so that's a real fucking inconvenience. That doesn't make it false.
Yeah, and how do you know it's not true?
I suppose it doesn't.
How do you
really
know
matter
it's
to
real?
them.
There's no evidence for it. It's a story.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's just like a myth. So like nobody's going to believe it.
Again, this is not origin point
Don't
and the least likely leak. so to speak.
Underestimate the power of stupidity.
I don't.
People
I
drink from this
don't.
cup.
I stare at her poignantly.
They will drink of this cup and they will be poisoned and it will spread.
Well, did you even see who wrote it?
No.
So you just read this and then immediately started burning?
I'll admit it was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction.
Attempted to burn, she
What
failed.
if instead of burning, we just
Talk to the person who wrote it.
alter it, change it?
We have a pen that writes for itself.
Don't know if it'll work that way.
You don't know.
What'd you say?
Why don't we just find the person who wrote it? Then maybe you can either satisfy, like, you know, get them to show if it's true or false. And if it's false, make them change it.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Couldn't find someone when I was in prison.
Also,
But
she can't go
thanks
back.
to you, Felix, and she pulls you around and gives you like a big kiss on the cheek.
Oh,
But now I'm free.
Are you okay?
You can't go back there.
Not looking like
Yeah,
this,
you really
but
can't.
some of you must have
Like-
some sort of
disguise.
disguises.
Also,
I
to
mean,
get into Vintar is also very difficult.
shut up, Chris.
You would need sponsor.
Not if I look like a native.
I don't think we can fix you that way.
Not with that attitude.
Make you look like elf. Do they let any elf in? Is that how this works? I don't really know, to
No.
be honest.
You don't check your passport.
You have tattoos. They're permanent.
It is also difficult to hide.
The thing's called sleeves.
Not your neck.
Oh, but you also always wear things that like.
Shut up, Oni.
Sorry.
We could design a tactical neck of some
Neck.
sort.
I'm not comfortable bringing her back in the tree. To be honest, Felix.
Felix, we're Bamfs. They're not.
No, you're a former vamp. You're a prisoner.
No.
Fugitive now.
I have not lost my standing.
You did there.
Well-
That's where it matters.
I think
I
that
was
Zulo might have
temporarily
words about that.
inconvenienced.
What was that, Felix?
Zulo might have words about your status as a vamp.
Oh, there you go. You have boss. Ask him what to do next.
That's our best bet here.
There you go.
So look, what you did, pretty fucked up.
Ugh.
But yeah, I know. My loyalty is to the Isles. My loyalty is to you. I got your back. Hence you being here.
Hey, thanks for the heads up on dropping invisibility, by the way.
I didn't. I dropped it literally 2 seconds before it was.
I don't. Were you guys not together for this?
No.
Nah, I broke off. But I held it. I could have dropped it like half hour earlier.
So what happened to the
That's
drow?
We'll talk about that after. Yes.
After this.
Okay.
Look, still, I will handle this the way a Banff should have handled it. Diplomatically at first.
But you already
That's
sent
always-
her escape.
Right.
They don't know that. Right? You didn't get caught, did you?
Are you? Do they know you are Banff? You told us to keep secret, but
They don't know that I'm a Banff yet.
do
I
they
know that
have
she is.
any reason to?
That's gonna implicate the shit out of me.
Wait, yes. Didn't you like? You
He
told
said
us that you
after-
spoke with her beforehand. Yes.
Yeah, I did.
So they know that you know each other, and now she's missing.
No, they don't. Oh shit, they do. Oh fuck.
Oh my god, you're such a dick!
So they know that you know each other. Now you're missing, and you had holiday today, and you missed the lift to go back up.
So you don't have an alibi.
You are in tough spot.
Oni,
Yes.
you're like a detective.
Oh, thank you.
What's detective?
We are going to be very good at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
New sitcom.
Yeah.
Maybe you both should leave then. Both of you, because now we're connected to you, and you're obviously going to be implicated, and we're going to be implicated by association. That's like super fucking not cool, you little tiny man.
But they also didn't bring us up all together and said that we could not put in requests all together except for Aquilo and me.
I
So-
have an alibi.
Yes, we were here.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, if they get rid of him, they might not get rid of us. And Felix, although you have been very good to us for the most part as a group, I cannot leave until I speak to Fanetta or get access to the library.
No, I'll get that. But I mean, I don't have a entirely hollow alibi like I did. They did see me come down. They didn't see me go up.
They saw you come.
Felix, what if
No, he
what
was
if you just
invisible.
got her out and you stayed? Wouldn't that? I mean, if you're around and she's not, that makes it slightly more credible.
Right? Yeah.
Let's be
Yes,
clear, I'm not
yes.
going anywhere.
Look,
Okay.
lady, you're in a tough spot. You don't
This
get to
is true.
decide much.
Sounds like you're on a top spot too.
So, I'm not. I have an alibi. I sat by a guard the entire time and regaled him with the most glorious stories he's ever heard. So, what's
He
your
liked your
alibi?
stories?
Oh, wait, you were sprung out of jail. Go
Well,
away.
Sure. But I hate to break it to you. Seems like the two of you, she looks at Felix, looks at you, pretty good friends.
No, not right now. Very mad at him.
Seems like looking for him, they're probably going to be looking for you. At
We
least
know
that's
each
what
other.
I would be doing if I was on a manhunt.
How is you being here going to help that situation?
Well,
I don't
if
think
you're going to
she
be on a
cares.
manhunt, there's going to be chaos. Perfect time to strike during chaos.
What strike? No, don't strike. What are you talking about, strike?
Finish the job
So
I
look-
started.
We're just gonna have to lie about it. We're gonna have to go about our business as usual, and we're just gonna have to say that we were down here the whole time.
Okay, let's start with immediate problems. Where do we hide her for now?
In a different city.
There are no of those
That's one
cities
vote.
nearby.
What are the alternatives?
In a different continent.
Do you know how to fly?
You only get one vote.
Okay.
We'll make it even easier. Up in the tree or down here?
Down
here.
there.
Okay,
Down.
I think we all agree that she does not go back in the tree. You
That
don't get a
seems
vote.
Like a better idea, yes.
Mm,
I don't know what you can do about this guys
So
though.
anxious
because
right now.
you are human clearly, and you have very
Good.
distinctive features as far as art.
Yeah, it's a lot.
just give me a robe. Talk my way out of anything.
Did we
I'll
burn
get you-
the
I'll get
gates
you a robe.
from the hobgoblins?
You're not going back up.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you did.
So you can look. We can find some non-goat related places for you to hide, but you're hiding for the next few days.
Why can't she hide with
Alright.
the drow? They hate the elves. Elves hate her. The enemy of
Yes.
my enemy is my friend.
That's not bad actually.
But why would
Just
she be
hang out
safe
there
with
for
the
a
drow?
little bit. Hang out there for a little bit. And if I fail on the whole diplomacy thing,
Do you guys
I'll come
even
back.
know how to find the drow?
Well, we
Yeah,
saw
they're
where she
underground.
came from.
Shouldn't you know how?
Also,
Underground's a big place.
the drow lady walked from. I pointed the direction. You can go that way.
Just
Take a goat with you.
walk.
Someone's gonna come looking for their goat.
Just walk around with a sign
Yes, but
looking
they
for
are
drow.
used to getting attacked by drow, and drow apparently steal their resources, like goats. So if you show up with gift, you are more likely to be seen as ally.
Can we just not like change her hair? Then she can just be a random human.
She has art all over her body.
Oh,
You
And the
guys
that was a
permanent-
poor decision.
Yeah.
begin arguing
Not so.
with one another over what to do with Melzana, what to do after that, how to resolve the situation, what's the best recourse of action. And as darkness begins to set, there's also an impending sense of anxiety as you wonder whether your time in Vintar is quickly drawing to a close. And that's where we're going to end it for tonight. And we'll pick up with you guys in the barn next Friday to figure out what in the fuck you guys do with Melzana and your situation moving forward. Yay!
Wait, I want to change my vote.
Oops.
What is your vote?
I say we kill her.
Oh,
No.
I don't think that's a factor. He got her out because execution was on the table.
I'm just joking.
Metaphorical
This is
table,
after.
of course.
I'll do it too.
No alcohol.
So,
Corruption of the innocent.
for tonight, we're going to call it. We'll catch you next week as we figure out how they get out of this debacle.
If we get out of it.
Until then,
Yeah.
see you all.
Oops.